All right. How about now? Sweet Lord. What do you guys think? Am I a good vault boy? You can't hear me very well, can you? Can you hear me now? I think you can hear me now. Yeah, I think you can hear me now. Ha! All right. So, as I was saying, I was at QuakeCon yesterday, and we're going to be talking Fallout 76 today. Well, yes, Phoenix, that's the whole point, is I queued it up for Fallout 76 because that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, it is definitely a look. So, I was at QuakeCon. As you can see, I'm on the screen for a brief moment, well, more of my phone than anything else. You can actually see me ending my pre-show live stream that I did yesterday when I was in line and we were cycling into the ballroom and stuff like that. And they were handing out these Vault Boy masks. So I was just reading on the back here, and it says, "This is not a toy. This is an adult collectible recommended for ages 15 plus, not for sale," in all caps. "Caution, for display purposes only, not to be worn while performing any activity. Do not use or wear near heat or open flame." Well, I am performing an activity. I am live streaming, and you guys probably can't hear me worth a crap. But here I am performing an activity, so I'm already breaking the rules. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. I went to QuakeCon. It was a ton of fun. I ended up towards the back of the line, and so by the time I actually got up to Todd, they weren't doing any more autographs or photos, so I just pretty much got to shake his hand. But it is what it is. I went and bought myself a shirt. Ah, it's nice. Have a nuke. So we're going to be talking about the panel from yesterday. We're going to take a look at all the perks that we now know. We're going to talk about the perk system. And you know what? One of my videos was correct. We are dealing with a pool of points that you will use with your perk cards. So, yeah, if you haven't seen that video, I did a speculation video on how I thought the perk system and leveling up was going to work. And that's it. So, how many of you, let me know in the comments, how many of you got to watch any part of that press conference or have seen anything on YouTube or Mixer or Twitch about it? Let me know in the comment section how many of you guys have seen some stuff, because I have a bunch of different videos queued up, and I want to know what we need to watch, what we don't need to watch, what we'd like to watch again, and stuff like that. So let me know. Haven't seen anything at all. All right, Scump. Well, that's a good starting point. How about anyone else? How about you, Vault Girl? Kevin? Vault Boy of the Year. Yes. Haven't seen anything yet. Okay, cool. They had a Vault Boy that was like 6 feet tall. And I got to stand next to him. I took a picture. I posted it in my Discord. Haven't got to yet. Okay, cool. Well, the main focus of the panel yesterday was about character creation, leveling up, and perks. So I actually have part of the video queued up. Well, pretty close to being queued up as soon as and basically, you'll have to forgive me. I'm running my Sony Vegas, my editing software. Hey, hippie chick. All right. Well, this is it. I've been kicking myself since last night. I got home, I started editing, and I was clipping and doing all this stuff. And I thought, you know what, this is stupid. I mean, I worked on it for a couple hours this morning too, and I was like, there's just so much information. Trying to make videos of this is just going to be a pain in the ass, and it's still not going to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, which is having a conversation with you guys about it. So I said, you know what, forget it. I'm going to do a live stream instead of doing our Finch Farm, which we were pretty much done with anyway. Let's do a Fallout 76 where we can take a look at this stuff. So I'm running, what you're looking at on the screen, other than the camera, is the preview of my, yeah, it's at best. All right, cool. Is a preview of Sony Vegas, my editing software, my video editing software. So I'm going to bounce back and forth on the timeline there and we are going to we're going to check it out. Typing without keyboard. Nice, Phoenix. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to unmute this, and hopefully we should have some audio here. This is the official "You Will Emerge." This is the Vault Tech video talking about what happens once you leave. So let's go ahead and watch this thing, and then we will talk about some of the other stuff that's got going on. All right, so let's do that right now.
Today's episode, Being a Better You. In life, we must each deal with the hand we are dealt, performing our assigned role to the best of our capacity. But after total atomic annihilation, you may find the hand you were dealt has been reshuffled. Yes, gone are the simple days of yesteryear. Now the common workman must also be a covert operative. The farmer, a master of the martial arts. The ice cream man, a nuclear physicist. How will you make sense of it all? Simple. Turn to your official Vault Tech training materials. With these powerful tools in hand, you'll learn to make the most of your natural abilities and better understand what makes you special. Use them to be the best you can be, or someone even better. Your survival depends on it. With your future secure, share your newfound knowledge with others for great benefit. But remember, there's power in diversity. Sometimes who we are isn't a choice at all. In fact, at a particular point in your young life, you may notice that your body has begun going through certain unfamiliar changes. No, it's not puberty, it's mutation. Thanks to our old pal radiation, your DNA has become more interesting. See here? You've now gained the unique abilities of a marsupial in exchange for a mild neurological impairment. Now you've learned how to be a better you. You are completely prepared to achieve your full potential in the role of your choosing. As a hand-picked resident of Vault 76, it is your duty to carefully review your Vault Tech-provided films yearly to fully prepare for the day when you will emerge.
All right, so there we go. You will emerge. Excellent. All right, let's get the camera back on here. And let's jump back over to there. There we go. I gotcha. Okay. So basically, I apologize for the audio quality. It was kind of a little bit over edited on their part. All right. So, as far as the audio quality goes, so some of that is the video itself, Kevin. So I apologize for that. So basically what's going to happen is every level you're going to get a new special point that you can assign into any one of the 7 stats. And if you guys saw my previous video, where I actually talked about this. So at level 1, you have 1 in every special stat. And then at level 2, you get to pick and put a point somewhere. And then you get access to perk cards. And we saw some of those in the video here. And there are literally, I I have Todd Howard saying that there are hundreds of perk cards. Hundreds of perk cards. And basically, if I picked, let's say, Charisma to level up at level 2, then I would get 3 potential cards that I could pick from. And then I could put it into the slot. So when we first get started, we're only going to have a couple skills anyway, which is kind of what we would have in Fallout 4. If I only applied, a point to Hacker and a point to Gun Nut at level 3, then I would only have those 2 skills. So it's going to work very similar to that. Except, here's the big change. We're going to have a pool of points. Notice all these cards, they have 1s on them. All of them actually have 1s on them. And because we've applied 1 point to each one of those cards. So if for the next round I wanted to upgrade bodyguards again, I could apply a second point to that card and upgrade it to rank 2. But then it requires 2 charisma points to use. So it's a pool of points, and the number of the cards, the total number of the cards can't exceed that pool count. So at level 42, where we've got 9 points in strength and 8 points in perception and stuff like that, the number of, not the number of cards, but the value number of the cards can't exceed that of the pool value. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope I'm explaining that well enough for everybody. Let me know in the chat, does it make sense about the pool of points and how when you upgrade cards, the value of that card goes up by 1? Hell, that may have been an easier way of describing it. All right. Makes sense to Vault Girl. Cool. So basically what I did, all right, Phoenix says yes. Slenderman says yes. Excellent. Welcome to the stream, Slenderman. All right. So basically I went through this video and I may have missed 1 or 2. Sort of, Kevin. Let me see if I can find it where they talk about it in the... We're going to fly through this video here really quick. I should have bookmarked it, but I did not, or marked it. Because they show someone leveling up at, like, level 42. Hey, Strontium. Oh, was that it? Yep, here it is, level 42. Okay. So here we are. This guy's level 42. Notice he has a 12 strength. Each of your special stats can go up to 15 now. But after level 50, you don't gain any more points. Oh, we will get to that, Scump. Remind me in a little bit, and we will talk about tips. Sorry for bumping the mic there. So, this guy's at level 42, or gal. I think it is a gal, actually, because Aqua Girl and Party Girl are both cards that they're using. So, he has 12, or she has 12 strength, 5 perception, 7 endurance, 9 charisma, 4 intelligence, 3 agility, and 8 luck. These are the cards that they currently have slotted. So they got Through Hiker, Sturdy Frame, Gladiator. And notice that this is a rank 2, a rank 1, a rank 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. These numbers all total the 12 strength. So you couldn't apply, even if you had more perk cards available, you couldn't apply another one unless you got rid of one. Just like 5 perception. And they have 3 unused points because the only 2 cards that they have slotted are Panopictographist and Perceptibobble. And then in Endurance, they have 7, but they have 1 unused point because they have rank 1 Aqua Girl, rank 3 Professional Drinker, and rank 2 Vaccinated. So that only equals 6 points. Yes, you will still receive perk cards. Well, every level you'll still get perk cards, and every 5 levels you'll get perk card packs. So we'll talk about those in a second. So it's very cool in the fact that you can swap any one of these out. Let me advance the video just a little bit here. Yeah, here they're showing ranking Gladiator up to rank 2. So you get, let's say you open another pack or you gain another level and you have another Gladiator card. You can then combine the cards and then it ranks up. Yeah, trying to find one thing in a video. I was sitting like 8 rows from the stage. It was pretty cool. All right. You know what? Let's just go back over here. Oh, that's the video. Here we go. All right. So let's go through all of the perks that we currently know about. Excuse me. I think I got them all. There may be 1 or 2 that I missed that were like tucked in corners or something like that. But let's go through the cards. So we're going to go through it like the special. So we're going to cover all the strength first, and then the perception, and then the endurance, and then charisma. So we're going to go through that. So the first card that we're going to look at is Bandolier. Ballistic weapon ammo weighs 90% less. So we learned a couple very important things just with this card. We already knew that this thing was going to be survival light, but now we know that ammo will have weight. Very important. But 90% less, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, thanks, Stronium. Hey, Naomi, welcome. Rocket Star, hey, how's it going? So, Bandolier is going to give us an increase in how much ammo we can carry, which is awesome because anyone that's played survival mode knows that you kind of have to be very picky and choosy about what ammo you're going to carry because it actually has weight. But if you get all 3 ranks of Bandolier, then at least for ballistic ammo, it will weigh 90% less. Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, it's more like, what is that? Elder Scrolls Legends or Gwent or any of the other card games that are out there. All right, so the next one we're going to look at is batteries included. Energy weapon ammo weighs 30% less because this is rank 1. So we can see that every rank of Bandolier and batteries included and other ones like that are going to give us 30% less weight. The next card we're going to look at is Bare Arms. Heavy guns weigh 40% less. And looking at the fact that that is rank 2, so obviously at rank 1 it was 20%. So by rank 4, a heavy gun's going to weigh 80% less. Yes, just like our perks did in previous in Fallout 4, you could only put 4 points in certain skills or 5 points in certain skills. It's the same. Just think of those stars as ranks or the points that we had in Fallout 4. So if you're running a heavy gunner kind of a character, running around with a minigun, then, you definitely want Bare Arms at rank 4, so it weighs 80% less. All right, so this one's kind of blurry, and I apologize for that. It was very small on the screen, but this one is Bullet Shield, and you gain 10% damage resistance while firing a heavy gun. And then there's also one called Outlaw, but I can't really ever make out what Outlaw says, and that's actually for the charisma. But also, but Bullet Shield is one that it looks like we will be getting. And then moving on to the next one, we have Expert Slugger. Your two-handed melee weapons now do plus 10% damage, and it has 3 available ranks to it. Next card we're going to be looking at is Gladiator, and this one they actually, showed us like the full upgrade of it. So obviously, just like we saw with the Expert Slugger, each rank is going to increase by 10% damage. Because we can see here, your one-handed melee weapons now do plus 10% damage, or at 2 stars, it would be plus 20 or plus 30 at 3. And then we will jump over here, and our next one is Sturdy Frame. Armor weighs 25% less than normal, and there are only 2 ranks available for that card. So, but hey, if armor is weighing 50% less, that's pretty awesome. In a survival game, at least. And the last card that we have available under the strength tree is Through Hiker. Food and drink weights are reduced by 60%. That's at rank 2. So it looks like it'll be a 90%. So if you wanted to play Ultimate Survivor, you could run all of these cards that reduce the weight of food and reduce the weight of ammo and reduce the weight of whatever gun that you're using. And with just a few perk cards, you could be significantly improving your carry weight and stuff like that before you become encumbered. Okay, now we're going to move into Perception. And the first card we're going to look at is Green Thumb. You have a 25% chance to reap twice as much when harvesting flora. I don't know. I don't know how well that's... I mean, again, there's hundreds of perk cards. We don't know what all of them... I mean, is harvesting flora going to be a big part of the game? I don't know yet. We don't know. So, but there is a perk that gives you a chance to reap twice as much. Hey, Lone Wolf. All right, so the next card we're going to take a look at is a Night Person, which is a carryover from previous games. Gain +1 intelligence and +1 perception between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. And then you have Panopictographist. You hear directional audio when in range of a magazine. And notice it only has 1 rank. All right, so Phoenix likes gathering plants. Well, now you can have a 25% chance to gather even more. So this one and then the next one, I believe it is, help you find magazines and bobbleheads. So again, more confirmation that bobbleheads and magazines will be in the game. We knew magazines because we'd seen like the Legend of the Grafton Monster. We'd seen that magazine sitting on a picnic table in one of the videos in, I think, the No Clip documentary. But now they actually have a perk that'll help you find that. And again, if you're running around your campsite or something like that, you don't need this card running. You can swap them in and out whenever you want. Let's go on to the next card here. And it's Perceptibobble. You hear directional audio when in range of a bobblehead. Again, it only has 1 rank, so these cards aren't going to be used all the time. Oh, I hear you. I hear you, Denise. But Perceptibobble and Panopictographist will definitely be handy for those of us that like collecting all the magazines and bobbleheads and oh yeah, scrap. Gotta love scrap. All right, so now this one, I apologize for the crappy image, but it was actually at the very bottom, and it was very dark, so I've had to use brightness and contrast to bump it as much as I can. But this is the only shot that we have of the Refractor card. and gain +5 energy resistance. And it looks like there's at least 4 ranks of it, just judging by where the star is on the bar down at the bottom. Oh yeah, I imagine the bobbleheads, and of course they're going to change how, what the bobbleheads do for us, and I'm totally cool with that. And that is all that we have for perception. Let's move on to endurance, and the first card we're going to look at is Aqua Girl. It only has 1 rank now. You can no longer take rad damage from swimming and can breathe underwater. So you don't need to upgrade this at all. I love it, Strontium. I love the idea of specializing to really kind of round out a team. I love that idea. But yeah, Aqua Girl only has 1 rank available. Next card we're going to take a look at is Dromedary. I know it has something to do with camels, but all drinks quench thirst by an additional 15% at rank 1. Which is probably why they got rid of it, Kevin. So, again, with the whole idea of survival, the Water World card. Dromedary. All right, I'm with you. Dromedary. Well, thank you for the... Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. That may be an option, Phoenix. Oh, there are a ton of cards that have to do with Alcohol Vault Girl, and we were going to get to all of them. All right, next card we're going to look at is Professional Drinker. There's no chance you'll ever get addicted to alcohol, and it only has 1 rank. Yes, I appreciate the zoology lesson. I just totally realized here that I did not get into... There we go. Oh, sorry, guys. That's what happens when you click off of the preview. So, no chance you'll ever get addicted to alcohol. Right, exactly. But alcohol, I mean, there's one that allows you to revive players using liquor. And so, yeah, and we'll get to that card too. So let's move on to the next one here. And that is Revenant. Gain a 25% damage bonus for 2 minutes when a player revives you. So there isn't going to be like, there's going to be a knockdown or like unconscious state. Since we're playing in teams. So you'll be able to be revived instead of having to respawn. So I like that. And if you always fall down, then you can run this and gain a 25% damage bonus for 2 minutes when a player revives you. There we go. They said that to me in here. 3 buddies and we're hyped to get in a squad and do. Oh, absolutely, Slender. There is Lone Wolf. We will get to that too. That is in the luck tree. So we will get to the Mysterious Stranger card. And I actually found a different card, and I want to point it out to you guys too. So the next card we're going to move on to is Slow Metabolizer. All food satisfies hunger by an additional 15%. And notice this one isn't available until level 5. Down at the bottom, you see how it's locked? So this is a card that you would get from one of the card packs that we'll talk about here in a minute after we get through all the perks. And you may get a card that you don't have sufficient levels to use yet. But this card, I mean, it's pretty nice. All food satisfies hunger by an additional 15% at rank 1. Some of these cards you may not want to rank up anymore just so that you have more points left in the pool to throw in other cards. You know, is the 15 to 30% at rank 2, is that worth it when I could throw in another card that gives me some other benefit? Oh, absolutely, Strontium. All right, the next card we are going to take a look at, which is the last card that I have for endurance, and that is Vaccinated. Chance of catching a disease from creatures is reduced by 60% at rank 2. So, much like the mole rat disease that we had in Fallout 4, it looks like other creatures are going to be able to give us diseases. And there is a card that will help us avoid that. And let's move on to the charisma. Oh, let's see. Thank you, Lieutenant Dan. Is that a Radcaster? I don't know what the hell that is. All right, so moving into the charisma, the first card we're going to take a look at is Bodyguards. And gain 8 damage and energy resistant, max of 24 for each teammate excluding you. So if you're running with 3 other players, then you would get 24 damage at rank 2. And I think it goes up by 4. And so at rank 4, you would have gain 16 damage and energy resistance from each teammate, excluding yourself. And now we are going to, let me move this a little bit this way. There we go. All right, so the second, is that the second card? Did I miss one? There we go. All right. Happy Camper. Yes, Jot, these are legit cards. Happy Camper. Hunger and thirst grow 80% more slowly when in camp or in a team workshop. This is going to be an extremely useful card when you're building. Or just kind of hanging out. And then Hard Bargain. Buying and selling prices at vendors are better. Notice it has 3 ranks available to it. So we know that there's going to be vendors in the world. They're probably going to be ghouls or smart super mutants or robots or something like that. But there will be vendors out in the world. And you have the chance to get better pricing from them. Next card we're going to take a look at is Inspirational. When you are on a team, gain 5% more XP at rank 1. So you could be leveling up pretty quickly if you had this thing at rank 3 running around in a team. Next card is Party Girl. The effects of alcohol are doubled. So if you run this with Professional Drinker, you could be drinking booze all the frickin' time and doubling the effects. But what's interesting is that there are 2 ranks. So I wonder what the second rank is going to add to Party Girl. You don't ask that question, Strontium. Lips and assholes. That's what they're always made out of. Hot dogs. Come on. All right, next card. These are the 3 cards that we're going to take a look at. Happy Go Lucky. Your luck is increased by 2 while under the influence of alcohol. Quack Surgeon. Revive other players with liquor. And then Spiritual Healer. You regenerate health for 5 seconds after reviving another player. So you can see that there is a lot of stuff going on. I mean, could you imagine running Professional Drinker, Party Girl, and Happy Go Lucky? I mean, hello. So, yeah, there's everyone is going to be highly boozed up in this game. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, okay. So there are a couple that we don't have any information for, like this card Friendly Fire. We don't know what the stat is, what its benefit is. And Animal Friend, I'm sure, is very similar to previous iterations of that perk or skill in Fallout. But Friendly Fire sounds like a very interesting card, but there is no way to know any more about it at this point. Okay, moving into intelligence. The first card we're going to look at is Contractor. Crafting workshop items now cost 25% fewer materials, and it's at rank 1. So it looks like it will probably be 50%. So all of us builders out there will definitely be taking advantage of the Contractor perk card. And our next card that we're going to take a look at. Oh yeah, it's definitely a must-have. That would be cool, Jot. That would be awesome, actually. Next card to take a look at is Exotic Weapons. You can now craft rank 1 exotic weapon mods, but plans are required. And notice this already has 2 ranks in it, so I don't know what the first rank would give you. Because this is you can craft rank 1 exotic weapon mods, plans required. I don't know what the first rank would be. I think all the YouTubers that are saying no raiding and no killing. Oh, you know what, Slenderman? We're going to talk about, we're actually going to watch a bit where they talk about the wanted levels and how all that crap works. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So yeah, I don't know what the rank 1 of exotic weapons would give you. It was in Vegas where you and your companions. All right, cool. All right, first aid. Stim packs restore 10% more lost health at rank 1. So it looks like they've really kind of, because I think it was 20% before, because you had 5 ranks of the similar perk in Fallout 4. But hey, 10% more lost health. All right, we're cool. Next card we're going to take a look at is Grease Monkey. Workshop items are 30% cheaper to repair. And that's at rank 1. So when our shit gets destroyed, and it's going to get destroyed, we can actually save resources by running this Grease Monkey perk card. Thank you, Kevin. I knew it was something similar to that. Next card we're going to take a look at is Master Hacker. Now this is an interesting one because it looks like they're going away from the percentage scale from Fallout 4, but gain +1 hacking skill and terminal lockout time is reduced. And there are no more stars for it. It is a 1 star only for Master Hacker. So it's interesting what the +1 or what the hacking skill is going to be. And that's something that we haven't even talked about yet. That they haven't even shown us. No one has mentioned this. It looks like there are skills and then there are perks. No one's been talking about that. What is going on, Dark Devil? Well, Vault Girl, all of this footage that you're looking at is taken directly from the video from yesterday. That's what I don't know, Kevin, but no one's talked about it. But here it mentions a hacking skill. So, are we going back to skills and perks? That would be interesting. Well, what it is, Phoenix, is that the terminal will lock you out for a certain amount of time. No, Major, this is all part of Fallout 76. These are your perk cards. Oh, okay. It used to have 2 ranks. Got it. Okay. Yeah, Jace, I was stoked to go to QuakeCon yesterday and actually sit there 8 rows from the stage and listened to him. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, but again, Kevin, Todd Howard said that there are hundreds of perk cards. We're only looking at a small portion of them. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a lockout for a time period. Like, you won't be able to go back to it for 5 minutes. It's probably not 5 minutes. It's probably not nearly that long. But, yeah. That would be cool, Dark Devil. If you could find perk cards on enemies, that would be awesome. All right, so now this one, I apologize. It says you can now craft energy, and that word looks like guns. And again, this is one of the darker ones that I had to really increase the brightness and adjust the contrast and stuff like that. And it says plans required. So I imagine that it would be energy gun mods is what science would be for. So there's something missing there. And I found a few other discrepancies in the cards themselves. So obviously it is something that they're still working on. Matter of fact, one of them was, if you notice over here on the left-hand side, you see bodyguards it has a yellow border, hard bargain yellow, or the oranges border, inspirational oranges border, party girl, strange in numbers, all the same color, but then Happy Camper is green like the strength cards. So I find, I don't know if Happy Camper used to be in strength, and they're like, no, that needs to be in charisma. So we'll have to figure that out. And let's see. Okay, so we did that. And you know what? I did not talk about, oh, look at that. I did miss one. I missed the strange in numbers. So let me see if I can... here, we will just come over here. I apologize for the blank card. Let me find it for you. There it is. And yes, so strange in numbers. Positive mutation effects are 25 or plus 25% stronger if teammates are mutated too. Dark, it is based on the Fallout 4 engine, but they've stripped out a bunch of crap. They use the Quake 3 engine to do all the multiplayer stuff from id Software. So it has definitely been a collaborative effort with the engine. Oh no, this is not their new engine, Phoenix. This is the last dying gasp of the existing creation engine. Hey, Plasman. Yeah, we're taking a look at stuff. So yeah, so there's strange in numbers. I accidentally missed that one earlier. And so let's jump back over here. So we talked about Master Hacker. We talked about science. And again, I think that card is supposed to say you can now craft energy gun mods, plans required. Yeah, they had to take out a shit ton of code that was there since Morrowind. Let's move on to the agility cards. Now, Starfield, which is the next game that they bought a new studio in Dallas. That's awesome. There's two Bethesda Game Studios here in Texas now. So that's pretty cool. All right. So the first agility card that we want to look at is, all right, Jot, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Is Dodgy. Spend 30 action points to avoid 10% of each enemy attack. Well, keep in mind, Major, that Fallout 76, actually, they started working on this project before Fallout 4 even released. So Battlecry Studios, which is now Bethesda Game Studios Austin, when they were still Battlecry, they were working on how to get multiplayer in the Fallout 4 version of the engine before Fallout 4 even released. So this isn't them going, hey, let's do one last hurrah with this engine. They were already in this engine when they started on this project. Just call him Mr. Salty. You're good. All right, so Dodgy. Spend 30 action points to avoid 10% of each enemy attack. Now, I want to point out something here. This is, again, one of those issues. Not issues, but it's kind of funny to notice. Let's look over in the luck cards real quick. At the second card, it doesn't say Mysterious Stranger. It says Mysterious Savior. Not salty at the moment. Got it. All right. Your sodium levels are correct. Got it. So yeah, Mysterious Savior. Now, we all know that that is the Mysterious Stranger card, and we will get to the actual Mysterious Stranger. And the reason why I know that that's the Mysterious Stranger card, because you can see the very top of his hat under the RI in Mysterious. And when we look at the Mysterious Stranger perk card in just a little bit, you'll see it's the same hat. So, but it's interesting that they haven't named the Mysterious Savior card in their little You Will Emerge video. So let's move on to the edible meat tissue. Yeah, we're going to get to that too, Strontium. All right, so goat legs. Take 80% less damage from falling at rank 2. Apparently, there's going to be enough falling issues in the game that they needed to make a perk card that you may want to run when you're like in the mountains or something like that, so you take less damage. And then I think this is the last card that we have. Yeah, no, almost second to last. Gunrunner. Again, this is one of the dark cards that was down at the bottom. And it says your running speed is increased by 10% when you have a pistol equipped. And it has 2 available ranks, so this is rank 1. So, Gunrunner. And then the last card in the agility tree is Marathoner. Sprinting consumes 20% fewer action points, and it has 3 ranks available as well. Moving into the luck tree, we have Luck of the Draw. Your weapon has a 10% chance to regain condition when hitting an enemy. It has 3 ranks available. Do you have an opinion on streamers that set up streams saying no killing and no rating? Because I think I am totally open if griefers want to try that shit when I'm on a server. I say bring it. I say bring it. All right, next card, Mysterious Stranger. Oh, sweet Lord. Let's get rid of that real quick. Turn that crap down. There. All right. So yes, Mysterious Stranger. The Mysterious Stranger appears more often when using VATS. It has 3 ranks available because we do know that VATS... Matter of fact, when you first can use VATS, you can't target specific body parts. You have to upgrade VATS with perk cards. Hey, Emperor. So VATS you will be able to dial in to body parts and stuff like that, but at from the get-go, VATS will just highlight the body, which is great for finding shit that's hiding in flora and fauna, so that's all right. So there's the Mysterious Stranger card. Next card we're going to take a look at is Mystery Meat. Stim packs generate excessive edible meat. Higher rads improve the chance. Hey, Mark. Well, if you want to call the Mysterious Stranger a NPC, considering you can't control him, as soon as he shows up, he runs away again. But yeah, I guess in that regard, there is another human NPC after all. Welcome to the stream, buddy. All right, so yeah, Mystery Meat, yum. All right, Scrounger, at rank 1, 50% chance to find extra ammo when you search an ammo container. Yeah, I know you are. It's all good. Which perk, Kevin? This one? So when you use a stim pack, you're going to find some edible meat. And if your rads are high, then it increases the chance. Now, we already know what's taking the place of the Raiders, and it is the scorched strontium. They're intelligent ghouls. They're not quite feral yet. I was hoping you'd be able to catch this stream there, Mark, since you didn't get to hang out with me yesterday. I hope everything's okay with your family, though, man. So yeah, that's mystery meat. And then we already talked about Scrounger. And then we have Starched Genes. And I think this is the card that's going to lock in a mutation on you. You will never mutate from rads, and Radaway will never cure mutations. So maybe if you have a mutation that you want to keep, then you would have to use this card so that Radaway didn't get rid of it. Hey, Lack. All right, so then you have Can Do. 50% chance to find an additional canned good when you search a food container. Again, I apologize for how crappy that looks on the screen. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of mutations too, Strontium. It'll be, like I said, I want to, in my Discord channel, I said I want to put together a team mutant, you know, where everyone has to have a mutation. So, because there's a perk that increases the good benefit of your mutation by 25% if all of your team members have mutations. Yep, they absolutely were. You know, and I think, Mark, it's the like minds think great idea. I never claimed to have a great mind, but like minds can definitely think great. I think we all kind of tapped into there. You have a third nipple. Nice. Excellent. That is actually the last perk card that we've seen so far in the game. So now, how do you get perk cards? Well, every time you level up, you get 3 new perk cards available to you, and you can pick one. Every 2 levels through level 10, you will get a perk card pack. And they actually have an opening of a perk card pack. Let me see if I can find that part of the video here. Again, I should have marked all this, but we're just gonna... look, I found it. Yep, there it is. All right. So now I'm going to unmute this. And hopefully you guys will be able to hear it well enough. Oh, God, I probably clicked way too far. Let's go back a little bit, and I will play that section. Here we go.
Fun to it and give you more choices. And so we have added, because they're cards, perk card packs. And every few levels, initially every 2 levels, you get a perk card pack. And that has 4 random cards. Again, you could have picked these, but it gives you some more interesting choice that you might not have picked to give you some flexibility in your character. And then later on, you get them every 5. But let's look at a perk card pack opening, because they're a ton of fun. We do have gold. That one's great. We have gold cards that animate. Of course, you get a joke and a stick of gum.
Nice.
And the gum, actually, for fun, is a very slight... It reduces your hunger for a while if you chew the gum.
Nice.
And so they're a ton of fun. When you hit that level and you're like, oh, it's level 6. All right, I get a pack. You get to pick your regular perk and then also see like, okay, I got these other ones. Is there something I want to swap out? And that's something good to talk about is the swapping
right.
Of the perks.
Right.
All right, so there we go. I'm back. Yes, I am Vault Boy. Listen to me. I am Vault Boy. There we go. All right, cool. No. Just for those of you that didn't get to see it earlier. And it's funny, it says this is not a toy, it's for adult use only. Oh, little kinky. Little Vault Boy action in the bedroom. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, that is perk card packs. So at level 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, you will get these packs that will have 4 random cards in it and the joke and the gum. The stream just got creepy. And then at level 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and beyond, every 5 levels, you will get another pack of 4 random cards. So, in addition to every level, you get the options of upgrading cards and stuff like that. So that is how we are going to get perk cards. And for those of you that came in late or and didn't watch any of the footage from yesterday, it's going to work a little bit differently as far as how many cards you can assign and stuff like that. Leather vault hat. You will have a pool of points that every level you can assign 1 point to a special stat, which goes up to 15 now instead of 10 previously. Right, that's exactly what I was explaining, Mark. Is that you can have up to 15 points in any of your special stats, but you stop gaining points, special points at level 50. So you will have 56? Because at level 1 you will have 1 point in every stat. And then you would gain a point every level. So that's 49 additional levels. So yeah, 56 total points in the pool. So if you average that out, you could have 8 points in every skill or in every stat with a remainder here or there. But yeah, so you'll be able to apply more cards and stuff like that. And yeah, say in this screen is a perfect example of that. This guy's at level 42. And he has a strength, or she has a strength of 12, a perception of 5, endurance of 7, charisma 9, intelligence 4, agility 3, luck 8. Yeah, but it's going to be different, Mark, because like Bandolier up here in the upper left hand is at rank 3. So it takes 3 of your available 12 points. No, Fallout 76 is not out. We are talking about Fallout 76 though. So welcome Free Smart. No. 15 is the max now, Mark. For each of your specials. You can do 15 points in any one of them.
Okay,
but I
on there and
no?
chat a little bit. Keep going.
Okay. But I wanted to ask about charisma. Should I ask?
And the cards right now up for each special to 15.
There it is.
Further along, we've upped the cap for each special to 15 from 10. That allows better balance for which cards you're equipping, and the cards right now go from 1 point up to 5 points in power.
All right, everyone catch all that? Yeah, absolutely. If you know that, okay, Bandolier, I want high because I'm going to be running around with a lot of ballistic ammo. Hey, Brian. And at rank 3, Bandolier reduces the weight of ballistic ammo by 90%. So, okay, Bandolier, I may want to rank all the way up to 3. But batteries, I don't really carry a lot of energy weapon ammo. So I don't maybe need batteries included. Hey, Todd, jump in Discord real quick. Explain this for me. And we will talk about mods, FreeSmart. That is part of this whole conversation that we're going to be having today, because they did address that in the panel yesterday. So we are going to get to that. But you can see here that that this player has a perception of 5, but the 2 cards that they have are only rank 1s, or they're only worth 1 each. So they have 3 unused points in perception right now. Yes, Corey, it absolutely does. So, and let me find the gladiator example. Let me jump back over here. And the reason why I say gladiator is because I know that it lays it all out. No, come over here. Here we go. So here is the, they were actually ranking up their gladiator from rank 1 to rank 2. Sure, absolutely, Mark. So you can see here, Gladiator rank 1 gives you plus 10% damage, rank 2 gives you 20, and rank 3 gives you 30% damage. And the same thing goes with the Expert Slugger, which is right there. You can see it's at rank 1, and it gives you plus 10% damage. So at rank 2, it'd be 20%. Rank 3, it'd be 30%. And like this bullet shield, and I apologize for the crappy quality of that, but I had to zoom really far in to get any part of it. But it does say gain 10% damage resistance while firing a heavy gun. And it has 4 ranks available. So if you, heavy gunner is a total viable run in survival with these perk cards, if you have the right cards. So let's get off of that just because it doesn't look very good. No, that one doesn't look a whole lot better, does it? There we go. So we have our pool of points for each special stat, and then we will be able to apply our cards based on what we want to use, what we want to do. Any card can be swapped out at any time. And matter of fact, not that guy. His name was Gary. And when they introduced him, everyone's like, "Hey, Gary. It was pretty funny. No, absolutely not, Brian. They will not be. These cards will not be microtransactions. Now, unless you're talking about like real life, like I could go out and buy like a pack of perk cards. That would be sick. I did get a bobblehead, and I got my shirt yesterday. You know, have a nuke. Yeah, well, physical cards, that would be awesome. I'd love that. This guy was talking about how he was running solo play, so he had Lone Wander card running. And then, you know, a couple of the other guys at the office were like, "Hey, come team up with us." So he swapped out that card really quickly with a card that gave him bonus experience for running with a team. And and he's like, it just happens on the fly. Astronomy, I knew that you would love this shirt. The other shirt I got just has a big gold, and it's very shiny, and it's the vault door, and it says 76, and it was a QuakeCon exclusive. You can't even buy that on the website. I did get the they were like almost out of bobblehead, so I got the explosives bobblehead. So yeah, so you can swap out perk cards on the fly. You don't have to be at a special location. Obviously, you'd want to be somewhere a little bit safe, so as you're sorting through your cards, you know, you weren't being killed or eaten or something like that. I hear you, Kevin. You can always rebuy, right? All right, so let us go into... Yeah, so we looked at that and how the pools of points work.
In a bar. Like, you want to fight?
Okay, so here's how they describe the engaging with PvP. Got Mentat socks. Yes, absolutely. So if you're running a rank 2 of Lone Wanderer and you only have the rank 1 of the one that gives you the team XP, then you would have 1 extra point. So you could drop a second rank 1 card in there to take up the 2 points that you had previously been using for Lone Wanderer. So they described engaging in PvP as walking up and slapping somebody. In the fact that if I wanted to engage in PvP with Strontium, I shoot him. And it does minimal damage, but it creates that flag of, okay, if Strontium shoots back at me, we're going to engage in PvP. But it does very little damage. So then if I'm like, no, and he doesn't engage with me. So I shoot him again. Very, very little damage. So it's like slapping him, walking up and just slapping him. So let's let Todd explain that. Let's see if we can't find a good spot to start that out.
That's right.
All right, we will do our best to sort of explain where we're coming from with PvP. We agree with those. Like, we have folks in the office, we have that debate, is it a, what is it? Where do we want the players kind of driving force? Is it a PvE world thing? Is it the other players? And for us, it is both. How can we do both? And so the first thing we'd say is that we want this element of danger. It sounds weird to say, without griefing, which is like, okay, those things are often in conflict. So right now, and you've seen it in some of the E3 videos, when you shoot somebody, you do a little bit of damage. You don't do full damage. It's like an invitation. It's like slapping somebody in a bar. Like, you want to fight? And like, that's annoying. But eventually, you're like, yeah, I think we're gonna. And so you do little bits of damage. If you engage, then you're doing full damage. And there's a cap reward based on the player's level. So if the player's really high level, you're going to get more caps from them than if they're low level. If you want to, after each one of them dies, you can seek revenge, which doubles the incentive. So the guy kills you, you're like, well, that was annoying. Then the game says, hey, if you want to seek revenge, we're going to give you the double reward. It's like, okay, maybe I want to engage in that. And that's really, really fun. The issue is when you don't want to engage in it, right? Someone's coming up to you and they're slapping you and slapping you and slapping you. And you're like, I really don't want to deal with this right now. We have a lot of ways you can get away from them, but we still like it where they do, if they keep going at it, they have the ability to kill you, which sounds terrible, right?
It does.
Typically like, why would you do that? We like to turn that into a dramatic moment. So the player that kills somebody that didn't want to engage in it then becomes a wanted murderer. They get no reward. That's like the first applause of the panel. Yeah. Murder! And so there is no reward. You get no caps. You get no XP. You get nothing for becoming a wanted murderer, except for the kind of social incentives people have online to be assholes.
Right.
Which evidently there's quite a few. So what do we do with that? We turn the assholes into interesting content. So they appear on your map as a red star. Everybody sees them, and they have a bounty on their head. And that bounty comes out of their own caps.
Oh.
And they can't see the other players. So on the map. And we did this. We had this idea. Like, let's turn it. Like let's make them interesting content. And it is when this happens, when anybody murders somebody while we're playing in the office, everyone sees on the map, and it is like it's awesome. Like,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
Yeah.
stories there. So the other day we had a big internal test, and we had played for hours. And towards the end of the test, I had leveled up. I had actually started early, and so I was higher level than a lot of the other people. And I saw that red star, and I was almost about to log off, and I was like, oh, now I'm going to get somebody. So I had built a sniper rifle, right? I found a hunting rifle on a super mutant, and I built a little scope, and I extended the barrel, and I was like, I finally get to use this. So I fast traveled near them. Now on the map, remember, you see where they are. It's not super up. It's a little relative, so it's not super pinpointy, but you'll know generally where they are. So I'm sneaking, because when you sneak in our game, your appearance on the map disappears, no matter what state you're in, except for wanted. So my pip doesn't appear, and I'm sneaking, and I see him in the building, and I see him moving around, and he comes wandering out, and I took his head off with my sniper rifle. And he drops down, I go running up, I loot his junk, I danced, took a picture over his corpse, and logged off.
All right, so there you go, guys. That is how PvP is going to work in this game. And me too, Stronium. I want to put together a team of bounty hunters, the regulators, whatever the hell we want to call them. I think that that going after the Red Star hunters, you know, that sounds like a whole lot of fun. So this whole no PvP, no killing thing, no. Bring that shit. Because you know what? There will always be someone out there that we can go hunting with. So. The wanted exterminator, sure. Then it becomes this cat and mouse thing, Mark. If you knew if you were a wanted person but knew where everyone else was, unless of course they were crouching, then it becomes this really drawn out thing. So I'm okay with them losing the ability to see where everyone else is. That's totally fine by me. Because it's all based on the Pip-Boy anyway. So the Pip-Boy would say, oh, you know, you've severed, the connection's been severed to the GPS, so you can't pinpoint where anyone else is. But yeah, that is, I like it. And the fact that you can't loot their weapons, you can't loot their miscellaneous stuff, but if you die or you kill someone, you can loot their junk, which is very, very intriguing. I think junk is going to be so much more valuable. I know it sounds kind of weird, in Fallout 76. It's a paper map. Well, okay, so how do I get a paper map? Oh, so like you have to unfold the map? Is that what you're saying, Vault Girl? Like the map is in your inventory and you have to open it up? Then how could it possibly be where it shows every person on the map? That doesn't make sense to me. I see what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense to me how a paper map would show me where everyone is. Because that's something that they've previously talked about. I understand what you're saying, Mark. A fair fight. You know, I get it. But is it really a fair fight when 23 other people are coming after him anyway? Because the whole server goes, get that guy. Yeah, I'm just questioning how they say you can see everyone on the map, but if it's a paper map, how can that be? Into turret hell. If I was a wanted man, I'd be setting up my camp. You know, I'd have, you know, boom.
Dangerous area. Before this, you would just run into a dangerous area. You don't really care. There's no penalty to
Oh,
death.
they're talking about losing your junk. Yeah. I lost my junk.
Happens when we're nuked. I mean, we know that things happen. We know that the area gets irradiated. Things are destroyed. There's higher level loot, higher level enemies. But let's say I have a camp in that area. What happens?
Magical paper map. Nice, Mark. All right, so in this next little clip, they're talking about base destruction and stuff like that. So let's check that out.
Happens when we're nuked. I mean, we know that things happen. We know that the area gets irradiated. Things are destroyed. There's higher level loot, higher level enemies. But let's say I have a camp in that area. What happens to my camp? How soon can I rebuild it? Chris, why don't you jump?
Yeah, well, first of all, nukes are very cool. All right, they're one of the coolest things that happen in the game. Yeah. But we don't want it to be overly burdensome to a player to lose all their stuff, so that we don't. When you nuke a camp, it does destroy the structures, but we've created something called a blueprint system, so that if you spend hours making a really cool house with lots of detail, you can blueprint that house. So it's very easy to replace it in the event that it gets destroyed by a nuke. It also makes it very easy to move your camp. So even if we're not talking about destruction with nukes, if you decide you want to relocate your camp to a different part of the map, you can pack it all up and you can put it somewhere. And of course, the terrain is going to be different, but because you've blueprinted your house, then you can usually find a way to jimmy it so that it looks good when you're replacing it. So it's very easy to get back to where you were.
So
the other thing with that is that the camp destruction part is really, it's easy to repair it if you want to leave it where it was, but we did the camp destruction exists. It's not really for like, hey, go blow someone's camp up. We realized when we put it in that is a griefing mechanic, is like someone wanders by and then you build a camp and you like imprison them. Now they have no way to get out. So they need an ability to damage the walls just to get out of the prison you have built for them.
Right.
So it has less to do with, hey, we want other players to come and blow them up. The camp is also good for PvP, where someone engages with you and you lure them back to your camp. There's Ashley Chang in the studio. You can build like musical instruments, and he built his camp, and he's sitting in the middle of a road playing a tuba.
Huh.
And he's on this platform, and he had built all these turrets in the foliage you can't see. And everyone's just like, this guy in a tuba, like, and then the turrets go, and he's just like killing everybody. He's like, the whole time. It's awesome. I forget where I was headed with that.
I don't know.
I don't know what the answer is. The camp right. Intersecting with PvP stuff.
Right.
And the other thing with moving it around, that was key because the game's so big, you come out of the vault and you find a place where you're like, this is where I'm going to build my camp. And then you play like 4 more hours and you're like, I shouldn't, like this view, I like this place better. So people tend to put their camp down, and then as they progress through the map, they are finding new areas, and then they kind of settle in, like, okay, I really like this spot.
So you move through the world, you meet friends, you're playing with others. How does communication work? Because I know that you've put a lot of thought.
No, absolutely. Because again, it's that invitation to PvP, bam, low damage, and then all of a sudden all those turrets just light up and wipe everyone out. But you don't become wanted because you weren't the one that started the PvP match. So that's pretty awesome. And again, it just if you were wanted, hell, yeah, I would have my camp. I'd build a camp knowing that I was going to be wanted at some point, just so that I could drop that camp down, if I was wanted, and it would definitely help me defend against other people. So, Yeah, it's a little laggy, Major, because I'm not actually playing the video. I'm playing a capture of the video in my my video editing software. So it's even the audio isn't quite synced up for me either. So so yeah, it's not just you. So don't worry about that. That's how I was able to bounce back and forth between all this stuff. Okay, so in this, matter of fact, they're moving on to talk about
thought into that, and that's even evolved a lot in recent days, months, weeks.
It has. And this was in the E3 stuff where we had the emote wheel we have.
Oh yeah, conversations.
Emote, and we have the the Vault Boy cartoon. It's really fun. We were big on communicating in a nice way with strangers, and that's we've had some successes there. But we have found that we weren't giving the other players, even if they were strangers, the ability to really be as interesting as we wanted. So now we're adding. We've had voice chat for your teammates, and now if you want to turn on your mic, we have voice chat for all of the strangers, which really lets them communicate, and it's a very, very different dynamic in the game.
Yeah, area based, so people around you will hear you talk. Yeah. And you can mute that too.
Any interesting chatter around the office in your own play tests?
Corey, I don't know, because with only having 4 people for a team, I imagine that you could have a clan set up. So let's say you had 15 people in your clan, then you guys could run around as loosely connected groups of teams. That would be the best thing that I think that you could accomplish. No. It would be like in an area, Mark. Like if you're standing in a clearing and you had that option turned on to speak, to talk in the area with strangers, it would be like you're just everyone in that clearing would be able to hear you. That's kind of what he was getting at there. Yeah, exactly, Mark. You wouldn't be able to hear everyone on the map no matter where they were. Oh, exactly, Strontium. You know, when we get in and we take over a server, as it were, you know, we could be running around with 4 teams of people, even though we're all on Discord or we're all doing something, we're all communicating as a singular group, we'd still be broken off into separate teams. But it would be kind of cool, Mark. You're just kind of trucking along and all of a sudden these voices showing up and you're like, oh, sweet Lord, there's someone else around here and they're talking. So
Any what?
In your own play tests, any interesting
There's always
chatter?
interesting chatter, and there's always cool photos that people are putting up from photo mode. I mean, it's a really fun game to play with people. I remember it was just a few weeks ago, I got to a point that was really hard, so I waited till lunchtime and then gathered a bunch of people. It was like, hey, you need to come help me with this part. So get a bunch of people logged in at lunch, and then we go and kill the super mutants.
Cool.
Oh, Kevin, come on now. I'm sure that we will find you plenty of people to play with. No, because there's... yeah, see, look. Vol Girls on PS4. Is Di still playing on PS4? Isn't she on PS4? There are lots of great people that are on PS4. See? Brian's on PS4. He won't be on PS5, but he is on PS4. Exactly. You know, there's a... come on, Kev. We'll find you people. I'm hoping that I will be running both Xbox and PC by the end of the year. So, I hear you, Kev. I understand. And who says you have to be on a team? You could solo the whole game.
Let's talk about VATS.
Oh, here's the conversation about VATS.
How does VATS work? If it's an online game, it's more of a real time. Everything's happening in real time. How does VATS work?
It's real time. We now initially you can't target body parts. That's a perk.
Okay.
Because it's real time. Like getting all the parts at first is kind of hard. So we did it where you get the whole body. You get the percentage based on your perception, and it's incredibly useful. And so we did that, and it plays really, really well. So we're happy with it.
Yeah, it's not just useful to target and hit enemies, it's also to find them.
Yeah.
So you use that a lot to try to, I heard something shoot at me, where is it? Because obviously the game in certain areas is much more lush than our previous games, so things are very hidey. You don't know quite where they are.
I mean, the thing I personally love about VATS, I'm not the most skilled Twitchy player, so it allowed me to become a much better player in a game like Fallout. I mean, is that something, so for those who want to engage in combat, does it still help them in the same way?
It does. Because it's based on your perception, and perception starts at 1 now,
Right.
It's not as useful out of the gate. But then the point is, if you invest, I'm a perception character, those percentages do cross a line where, oh my gosh, I'm definitely more accurate using this than I am just doing it on my own. And we try to strike a good balance there.
He said some areas are more lush, Astronium, and you knew that. Don't even start getting salty. Let's see. Metron says, what happens when you're trying to defend your base from a raid and you kill the raider, he gets salty, you now have to deal with a bounty. Well, if they attack you first or your base, then you aren't the one starting the PvP, Metron. You are the defender, and you can kill them without a bounty. You don't have to worry about that. All right, fair enough, Kevin. Hey, Carton. Yeah, now if he attacks your base and ends up killing you, then he would get the bounty.
An easy question. I think we might have even mentioned it in the past, but who's doing the music for Fallout 76?
Enon Zur, who's done the music for our other games. He's amazing. The soundtrack is spectacular.
Yeah.
That was a given. Come on, we knew that.
And we have a lot of licensed music as well. So we have more tracks than we've ever had in a Fallout game. So there are radio stations you can listen to. Something we've loved
all right, Kevin,
in the series. And
go
it's
enjoy your
always
smoke.
fun to go through and say, like, okay, what are the classic tracks we want to have? And then there is an unbelievable amount of just bizarre old 40s music. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's some wacky stuff. And it's great for Fallout. So sometimes it's like, hey, what's the mood of this song? And then other ones are, hey, this is the song that has, this kind of, the slant on the lyrics as it appears in Fallout when it's post-apocalyptic, make it really fun.
We know Fallout 76 is an online game. This question has come up a lot.
All right, here is the big question, and we're actually getting pretty close to the end here of the actual video itself, not necessarily my stream, but tree trading hub, nice. But here is the big question that one of the big questions that we all wondered about and stuff like that, and let's listen to how they answer it.
A lot on places like Reddit. What about private servers?
That is definitely something that we are doing. We're committed to it. Modding for us, it's not just having a private server, it's being able to mod it. So mods for us have really been, once our games come out, that's what our hardcore players play. And they're still playing, Skyrim and Fallout 4 are two of the still most popular games in the world, and a lot of people are playing mods. And so that is something that, given the online nature of it, is going to be very, very complicated, but we're committed to it, and we've been, starting to design what that system is going to look like. But it is, I would say this, it's a complicated problem, but one that we are 100% committed to solving.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Private servers and mods, we are 100% committed to solving that problem. So, we always know that Bethesda likes mods. People are still buying Fallout today because mods are available for it, whether it's Nexus mods on PC or Bethesda.net for all platforms. Nexus mods will not be a thing, I don't think, very much for Fallout 76, just because it is an online only, unless they could figure out a way of manipulating just the local view of what the game is. But obviously a Nexus mod could not affect everyone on that server. But since they're not selling the game on Steam, it's only being sold, everything has to go through Bethesda.net. So we are definitely, and Bethesda.net is where all console players and many PC players go to get their mods. And so that is, it's nice to hear them say that. How much will it cost? Well, Mark, they have said that there will be no additional cost to the game after the initial launch. Microtransactions are going to be taking care of additional content and stuff like that. Oh yes, there's everything is going to be on the server there, Carton. But it won't be like State of Decay 2. You know, there is no the console or the PC is the server for host and client. Everything will be dedicated with Bethesda as far as servers go. So yeah, central servers. Yeah, I mean that term kind of got lost, you know, in the last 10 years because we'll just say Bethesda servers. How's that? It won't be one central server location. They're probably going to have server farms all over the world and all over the country where people are, where you end up getting into to help with lag times and stuff like that. So, but yeah, there will definitely be dedicated servers. That's a good word there, Mark. So, but it would be super simple since everyone has to go through Bethesda.net anyway. If I wanted to set up a private server when those become available, I go, okay, I want this mod, and I want that mod, and I want this mod, and I want that mod to run on my private server. And then if someone wanted to go onto my private server, you know, they would look and go, okay, Draco's running these 4 mods on that server. Okay, cool. I'm going to go play with that, you know? So that is a great... The idea sounds pretty straightforward after they get over the hurdle of creating private servers and mods. So I think it's going to be a series of check marks, since all the mods will have to be on Bethesda.net anyway, and that's where the servers are going to be. It's just going to be a simple matter of, okay, install this mod, and install these 20 mods, you know, on my server, and these are the ones that I want to enable right now. So yeah. Let's see. God, I think that's pretty much everything. Is there anything that we didn't touch on, guys, that maybe you were still wondering about? You know, I kind of have an idea as to where most things are on this panel, so I'd be able to find it for you if we needed to, if they talked about it yesterday. So let me know in the comments. Matter of fact, I'm going to step away just briefly here. I got to go relieve the old bladder. So give me just a second here. And matter of fact, let us, for those of you that didn't catch it the first time, I will turn on the when you will emerge video where they're talking about perks and stuff like that. So, and I apologize, the audio is not the best, but yeah, let's do that.
You will emerge. Today's episode, Being a Better You. In life, we must each deal with the hand we are dealt, performing our assigned role to the best of our capacity. But after total atomic annihilation, you may find the hand you were dealt has been reshuffled. Yes, gone are the simple days of yesteryear. Now the common workman must also be a covert operative. The farmer, a master of the martial arts. The ice cream man, a nuclear physicist. How will you make sense of it all? Simple. Turn to your official Vault-Tec training materials. With these powerful tools in hand, you'll learn to make the most of your natural abilities and better understand what makes you special. Use them to be the best you can be, or someone even better. Your survival depends on it. With your future secure, share your newfound knowledge with others for great benefit. But remember, there's power in diversity. Sometimes who we are isn't a choice at all. In fact, at a particular point in your young life, you may notice that your body has begun going through certain unfamiliar changes. No, it's not puberty, it's mutation. Thanks to our old pal radiation, your DNA has become more interesting. See here? You've now gained the unique abilities of a marsupial in exchange for a mild neurological impairment. Now you've learned how to be a better you. You are completely prepared to achieve your full potential in the role of your choosing. As a hand-picked resident of Vault 76, it is your duty to carefully review your Vault-Tec-provided films yearly to fully prepare for the day when you will emerge.
You will emerge. Pacifist mode. Great question, Vault Girl. And we will find that. How will settlements work? Example, terrain. Well, your settlement or your base or your camp gets blueprinted when you go to move. And, of course, it probably won't all fit if you were building on a flat area. But then you find some, like, overlook. You'll be able to... They mentioned that you'll be able to kind of, move some stuff around. So I imagine you could set it and some of that stuff may be, like, floating or something. Or it goes, oh, you can't build those right now. And then it gives you the option to rebuild that in that mode. Yeah, matter of fact, let me find that for us where they're talking about pacifist mode.
on the map.
Right.
You can take the junk, but...
Closest point to you is free in the...
Oh, here they talk about fast travel, too.
If anyone remembers Fallout 4, screws are very valuable. So if you've got screws in your junk, you want to store them.
Yeah. You
And
can't decide between, like,
Yeah.
this awesome-looking gun or a desk fan. They both have equal...
How does respawning work, by the way? If you die in a dangerous area, but can you respawn anywhere? What goes on there?
Respawning always takes... you can respawn anywhere you've unlocked, just like Fallout 4. You can fast travel wherever you'd like. The closest point to you is free, and the entrance to Vault 76 is free. Beyond that, you have to pay caps based on how far away it is from you. So if you decide you want to take that opportunity to go way far to a corner of the map, you're going to pay a small caps cost.
I was thinking of the Vault. Going back to PvP, it doesn't kick in until level 5. So that gets people into the game a little bit and understanding it before people start saying, hey, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Because otherwise they'll just hang out everywhere. Because everyone comes out of the Vault. So you would
Hey,
just,
Stella.
like, set up your camp and all the turrets. That happened for a while. You're like, I'm really excited. I got the game.
remember, for people who have more questions on PvP and can already see some exploits that might not be fun, we do allow you to ignore and block players too. So you can actually, when you die, or at any time, honestly, but especially when you die, we have an option there for if you're just done with that, you can ignore them for that session. Then they can't see you on the map. They won't be able to still mess with you generally unless they can find you. But this is a very big game. It's very hard to find people unless you know exactly where they are. You can fast travel easily. We also are entering a pacifist flag, so your bullets won't do that slap to people. So you don't have to worry about I'm fighting something. Some idiot jumped in front of my bullets and tried to get me in PvP. We're allowing you to turn that off too.
People were abusing that in the studio.
Yeah. The pacifist flag.
Well, no, they would wait till you go shoot a creature, and they would jump in front of the bullet.
Right.
Yeah. We had our QA team. I asked the QA team, several hundred people, during one of our sessions to be the biggest assholes they can one session. We got a lot of good notes out of that of things we need to fix.
QA knows how to play the game.
Yeah, they know how to play.
I do have one more question.
All right. Yeah, trolls are very clever. You know, but with the whole pacifist thing, and I think that I would just run that all the damn time unless I knew that I wanted to engage with someone and I wanted to shoot them, then I would turn that off and then just remember to turn it back on later. So, yeah, that is the pacifist mode. I think in general, I would just run with that so that no one will ever get slapped as the term they use. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. So, I mean, obviously, they're trying to do as much as they can. They want the game to be enjoyable for everybody, but, you know, still kind of let people be purple. People be people. Will perk cards only be available during level up and perk packs? That, you know, they did not talk about that, Vault Girl. That's very funny, Mark. Yeah, absolutely, Stella. They are very much taking our worries seriously. I think it would be cool if you could find perk cards in certain containers. And they did mention that obviously you're going to have your safe container where you can drop off your junk. Matter of fact, it was right before this this little bit here.
If unlocked, just like Fallout 4, you can fast travel wherever you'd like.
No, it's before that.
Caps from them.
Right.
You can take the junk, but yeah.
But it's just a little grindy time, and you got it back.
It's just, you know, we like it. We put it in. It's just enough to make.
All right. So what they're talking about is if you go into PvP and you kill somebody, you can take the junk, just the junk stuff off their inventory. So no miscellaneous or weapons or armor or anything like that. So that's what when you die, you lose your junk. Your junk is available for other people to pick up. So you could go get your junk again if you think it's worth it, or you could be like, screw it. I didn't have much junk anyway. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go do something else. They are not. I have not seen them anyway, Stella. To answer that question. So that's what they're talking about here with taking the junk and stuff like that. Not my junk. And I think right here is where they're going to talk about locations and stuff like that where you could your junk will be safe.
Make it where before you head into a dangerous area, before this, you would just run into a dangerous area. You don't really care. There's no penalty to death. It's like you just fast travel back. And then once we did that, it's like you just stop a little bit. Like, well, don't want to take a moment and like collect myself, store the junk before I head into danger.
If anyone remembers Fallout 4, screws are very valuable. So if you've got screws in your junk, you want to store them.
Yeah. You can't decide between like this awesome looking gun or a desk fan. They both have equal.
How does respawning work, by the way? If you
All right, so we already saw that part. I was looking for the part where they were talking about. I hear you, Cranky.
A little grindy time.
Caches are. It's always a safe place to store the junk that you've collected.
There we go. Let's back that up a little bit.
your awesome power armor or any of the guns that you've collected, but then you have to make a decision. Is like, was that a and junk isn't worthless. You need junk to build things in your camp or to make better guns or to make better armor. So what it does is it creates a loop where you go out and explore, you create some junk, and if you happen to die, that's all you drop. You don't lose your awesome power armor or any of the guns that you've collected, but then you have to make a decision. Is like, was that enough junk that I need to go back and get it? Or is that something I can live without? And what people will do is they'll go back to their camp and they'll put their junk back in their stash, which is safe. Nobody can take things out of each other's stashes. And we've also seeded the world with stashes as well. So if you know where some of the stashes are, it's always a safe place to store the junk that you've collected.
So just enough so it'll sting,
A
but
little
not
bit of a
enough so
sting.
that it'll really deeply hurt
And
yourself.
it's also a little bit of a reward for if you manage to kill somebody, there's usually something there with them.
Nice.
And the thing with junk is it's nothing that you can't.
Oh, absolutely. Strontium. We could have outposts all over the damn place. Yes, Mark. I agree. No, the game needs to be a challenge, and I think that once you get to a certain level, you're not going to give a shit about caps. It's going to be the crap in your junk because you're like, I need to make this over at my camp, or I want to upgrade this thing, and that's where that junk is going to come into play, which is why I said earlier, junk is going to be valuable in that regard at some point. It's going to become the currency of the high level, whereas caps is the currency of the lower level. No, I think that we could strategically set up our camps, throughout the map and just have, safe spots, where you can just drop stuff off. Sounds good, Darren. I appreciate it, man. I look forward to it. That's it. You put that shit right at my doorstep. Give me all that high level, hard to get stuff and put it at a place where I can easily get to it. I am looking forward to it. Absolutely, Stella. I think becoming a trader is totally worth it. Yeah. Mark is just going to be a hole in the side of a hill. That'd be cool if we could find some caves, huh? But again, if they're using the creation engine, caves really aren't caves. Just you being to sleep under a turret. Yeah. Yes, the nice quiet sound of a turret running. Yeah, see, but I think a coal mine will be an internal cell. It won't be an external cell. And they said that most of the loading screens are gone too, so you'll get to see your selfies during the loading screen. All right, what else? What did I miss, Vault Girl? Maybe you'll get to see my selfie, Strontium. Me teabagging some D-bag that really wanted to tear up my shit. Welcome back, Kevin. I'm not sure. I never played God of War, so. But yeah, when you're fast traveling, there will be load screens there. So. I don't know, Kevin. Neither one of those made me go, I need to get a PS4. But Detroit Become Human did. I don't know. It's weird. I went by the local game exchange, and I'm like, do you guys have a used PS4? And she's like, the only one we got is a PS4 Pro. It's $369. I was like, yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, going from the external space to any internal space, I'm sure will give us a load screen. Absolutely, Mark. Yeah, there's not been word one about other vaults. I think we got everything, though.
Get into and show you how flexible it is.
Well, they showed up on the map there, Kev. Well, I'm sure there's a vault at Greenbrier as well. Yeah, what's in the vaults, and I'm sure a lot of that is they're keeping that really, really, hush hush. Hey, Cat, welcome to the stream.
Get into and show you how flexible it is and why we made some of the choices that we did. But let's keep going, and then we can spend some time when we see a more complete character. Okay, this is a level up to level 4. So we picked some more cards. We wanted to show you how the cards themselves rank up. Okay. So you can pick that card.
No, Darren, no cross-platform at all. Unfortunately. Three major? 4. No? 4. I think 4. October Almighty.
Rank up. Okay. So you can pick that card again. So by picking Gladiator again, you can then combine that card with the other one to create a more powerful version, but it costs more points. Right. So sometimes you may decide, well, I only want the 1-point version equipped for my character build versus the more powerful 2-point version because I'm using my strength stats in some other way. Yeah, so I think that probably makes sense, yes. I hope.
But there's more than 4 levels in the game.
The levels keep going up and up and up. We don't want to make a game where you have to stop leveling, but we had to make some very interesting decisions of what that.
You aren't paying for a demo, Major. Not at all. You're pre-ordering the game. The bonus for pre-ordering the game is that essentially you're getting early access. Yes, Almighty. It started on Thursday, I think. Maybe it was Friday. And then it's wrapping up today. But I only went for yesterday, so.
Means for a multiplayer game for balance. So
Cranky
let's run the
76
next one.
graphics are much better.
It's a much higher level character.
Right.
I think it's in the 40s. So here we are, and you'll see a character that's much further along. Picking charisma. We can talk about charisma. Is interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a perk that lets mutations act better with groups.
Sure thing, Almighty. Cranky, they have not given us a specific date, just said October.
That you meet the requirements for when you level up. There's no randomness there. And here's what it looks like with a character that's further along. We've upped the cap for each special to 15 from 10. That allows better balance for which cards you're equipping. And the cards right now go from 1 point up to 5 points in power. And then as you level up, more cards become available.
I've got a bunch of questions about that, but I won't.
On there and chat a little bit. Keep going.
Okay. But I wanted to ask about charisma. Should I ask that later? About
we can talk about that now. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris. How does charisma work in an online game? If we're not talking about NPCs that you can influence, what does charisma do for you?
That was a very interesting discussion amongst the team to try to figure out what do we do with.
Yes, Kat. Yep. Every stat can go up to 15. And essentially, your special points become a pool. As a matter of fact, let's go back, and I'll explain that again for what we were looking at there. Here we go. So, over on the left, you see that this character has a strength of 12, and the cards based on rank is the value that comes out of that pool. So, if you look at all the cards that are listed under strength, they equal 12 based on the rank. Under perception, we can see that it says 3 unused points because they're only running 2 perception perk cards that are each rank 1. So even though they have a perception of 5, they have 3 unused points. Every time you level up, you get 3 random cards. And then every 2 levels to level 10, you get a perk pack or a perk card pack, which comes with 4 more cards. And then after level 10, it's every 5 levels you get another perk card pack. Now, it's not really any different, other than in previous iterations of Fallout, if your strength was 10, then you could be running every single perk. Like in Fallout 4, you could be running every single perk, no matter what rank it was under strength. Now you have to decide, do I want Bandolier at level 3, or am I okay with Bandolier being at level 2 so that I could run another perk card under strength to dip into that pool? Keep in mind, Vault Girl, that I doubt that you could get through the game during the beta anyway, because The main focus of the beta is going to be server stress testing. There are going to be times where you're going to log on to play the game and it's simply not going to be online because they're having to reset the server. So while they're not doing wipes and they're not doing all of those things that normally you would see at the end of a beta, I doubt very seriously you'd be able to get through the whole game just because of the downtime of the servers. I'm going through the chat here. Exactly. Life. I don't see how they're dumbing it down. This is more strategic, in my opinion. This is going to take some thought. Because, like, if you only have a 9 in Charisma, that means that you can't upgrade Inspirational anymore unless you put in another point in Charisma. Oh, absolutely, Mark. I totally agree about DLC maps. Hey, Barebones. Welcome. No. We'll be getting DLC. We just won't have to pay for it. We'll be getting small updates continuously, and then we will get larger updates as we go along. That's the big reason why they're doing microtransactions for cosmetic items, because the money that they make from those microtransactions is what's going to be funding essentially the DLC content and stuff like that down the road. Which is why I said in the case of Fallout 76, I have no problem with doing the microtransactions. So. Sugar, if it depends on where you bought it. Where did you buy it? Where did you buy the pre-order? Barebones, no, I'm not playing. We are looking at the yesterday they did a panel, a Fallout 76 panel at QuakeCon, and I was in attendance there. And otherwise, I would have just made a smaller video. Or I probably would have done the same thing. But anyway, I was there yesterday, so we're talking about it today. Xbox Store. You won't have to worry about it at all, Sugar. Your code is built into you purchasing it on the Xbox Store. So when the beta becomes available for the Xbox, you'll get it. Now, they may do like a stepped thing, like, okay, half the Xbox players on day 1, half the Xbox players on day 2. Because again, we're supposed to be stress testing the servers. They don't want 40,000 people or 1 million people diving straight in, which is why they attach the pre-order with the beta access, because they didn't want 12 million people diving in on day 1. That's also why they staggered it between the different platforms. Hey, Mikey, welcome to the stream, buddy. Sure thing, Sugar. If you ever have any questions, I'm always open. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know the answer. So. No, they talked about in the E3. They talked about DLC content, Stella. They didn't call it. They called it bigger, like, updates is what they're calling it. They're not calling it DLC because again, it's not going to be separate content that you have to purchase. Everyone will have access to everything. All right, I understand you're at work. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate it. So, Kat, do you still think that this is a dumbed down version, or do you see where it's going to take more strategy? I am not sure when Doom Eternal is coming out unshaven. Yes, Mikey. It's just what they showed yesterday, Jason, during the Fallout 76 panel at QuakeCon. Absolutely, Mark. And like I said, I'm okay with the microtransactions as they have it set up. Hey, if I don't have to pay for, Jesus, the season pass was $50 at one point for Fallout 4. I would have paid $50 for the season pass of Fallout. I paid $30, but still. Yeah, but with having, you stop earning special points at level 50, Kat. So you can still get more perk cards beyond level 50, but you're not going to have unlimited skill points. You're not going to have unlimited pools. No, I did not see any new power armor yesterday, unshaven. What did Jason ask? Oh, yeah. Me too, Mikey. I love the passive mode. Hey, Nick. There are, let's see if they when they show opening up the perk pack. Oh, look at that. That the gold perk card was a rare one, or one that's not easily found. All right, so we see when you're opening up a perk pack for the first time, you get 4 random cards. There is no level cap, but after level 50, you don't earn any more special points. So you will have a total of 56 points. At level 50, you'll have assigned 56 points across the 7 stats. So it's like 8 and a small remainder. Hey, Linda, welcome to the stream. Charisma ties in a lot with team members. Yeah, so there are some charisma perks like the bargain hunter or something like that, where you can get a better buy and sell rates with vendors. Of course, the Lone Wanderer perk is in charisma. And Anshin, let me. I'll get back into that in just a second. Well, welcome. We're talking about Fallout 76, Linda. And I was at the press conference or the panel yesterday at QuakeCon where they talked about Fallout 76. So we're going over some of the things that they talked about, and so this is a perk card pack. Now you get a perk card pack every 2 levels up to level 10. So level 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, you will get this perk card pack that comes with 4 random cards. It may be a card that you already have. It may be a card that you can't use yet. Anakin, got it. Sorry. Charisma is definitely... We see a lot of charisma cards in this whole example. So let's see the first card that we get over here is Scrounger. Okay, normal card. Now the gold card
we do have
is Expert Heavy Gunner. Your non-explosive heavy guns now do plus 10% damage. But notice that it's locked. Okay, and the reason it's locked is because it's level dependent. There are some cards that you will get that you can't use yet. So, and they go into that in a little bit more detail. But yeah, there are some rare cards. So if you have someone that's wanting to be a heavy gunner, because there are cards that allow you to reduce the weight of heavy guns, reduce the ammo and all that stuff. And I have this card, but I'm not. This may be a great trade thing to be able to trade with other people too. So that would be kind of cool.
gold. That one's great.
Green Thumb and then Happy Camper are the 4 cards that we got. And then we also get a stick of gum and a joke.
We have gold cards that animate. Of course, you get a joke and a stick.
My wife loves a man in uniform. His name is Roger. And if you eat the gum, it actually satiates your hunger for a while. To get a level 2 with a perk, you have to combine... Yes, that is right, Vault Girl. It may be tied to the number of points that you have in a pool. It may be tied to a level, Jason. Both of those, I've seen both. Well, I haven't seen the one where you have to have a certain number of points in your pool, but I have seen where it is level dependent. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, if Mark, you know, is my heavy gunner guy, but I have this rare card that he doesn't have, that may be, you know, a great trade thing with teammates and stuff like that. Well, it definitely makes it a little bit more interesting, doesn't it, Kevin? Hey, Chuck, how you doing? No, there are no rucksacks in the game, Chuck. Sorry, buddy. Right, but isn't a melee character going to need other things too? Yeah, Mark wants NPC babies. I'll be on tonight.
Stick of gum.
Nice.
And the gum actually, for fun, is a very slight... It reduces your hunger for a while if you chew the gum.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, chewing the gum reduces your hunger for a while. So, we know they're bringing back hunger, thirst. They haven't talked about sleep at all as far as survival stuff goes. Ammo has weight. I did say rucksacks, Stella. But every time I say rucksacks, Chuck thinks I say rough sex, so. Yeah, absolutely, Jason. I don't want to be giving a really cool, rare perk card to someone that's going to come back and slaughter me with it. Sugar, thanks for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. Be able to smoke to keep down hunger. All right, so who was it that asked the question? Let me scroll back up here. Well, and here's the thing. With the random cards, you could easily be leveling up your perks by combining the cards without applying any additional points. No one thought about that, huh? There was another question. Where was it? Yeah, Darren, I agree. It'd be cool to have weapons like bows in the game. No level cap. We talked about the gold perk card. Rare perk cards. Yeah, if I'm not having to pay for DLC content, I'm okay with buying, doing microtransactions. You know, if this is a game I want to support and play for a long time, I'm okay with that. Okay, so that's what it was. We're going to go through the sorry about that. You guys don't want to see that. No specific date yet, Chuck. All right, Vault Girl. Go enjoy a great dinner with the family. Food water consumption will change with perks, Mark. Matter of fact, we're going to dive back into the perk cards that we've seen so far. There are some new weapons. I don't have them specifically in front of me, Cranky. I know there's some new guns that I've seen in the No Clips documentary. They were showing off, not really showing off new guns, but you could see them in the gameplay footage. All right, so let's jump back over to let's come back over here. All right, and we'll kind of go through these perk cards again. All right, so Bandolier. I'm doing these in order of how they line up in the special. So I'm doing all the strength first, then perception, then endurance, charisma, etc., etc. So Bandolier, ballistic weapon ammo weighs 90% less. That's at rank 3. So does everyone understand the pool of points? So if my strength is at 12, then my perk cards, their ranks can only equal the number of points that I have in that pool. Does that make sense? So maybe I don't want Bandolier at, even though I would have Bandolier at rank 3, maybe I only want it at rank 2 so that I could use that other point to have another card in there. We definitely did see a reskin of the Junk Jet. So yeah, that's Bandolier. The next card is batteries included. Energy weapon ammo weighs 30% less, much like Bandolier, except with energy weapons. Bare arms, heavy guns weigh 40% less. That's only at 2 stars. So if you wanted to play a heavy gunner character, you'd definitely want, bare arms fully ranked up at rank 4, so that minigun weighs 80% less. That's crazy. Now these cards were, they didn't have them laid out like some of the other ones. That's why they look like shit. But I zoomed in because this top one, Bullet Shield, you gain 10% damage resistance while carrying a heavy gun. Or while firing a heavy gun, sorry. And that's at rank 1. So it looks like you'll probably get like 40% damage resistance at rank 4. That might be another great one. And Todd Howard said that there are literally hundreds of perk cards. So I imagine that there will be secondary and tertiary cards for each of the playstyles. Whether, you're a heavy gunner or a one-handed melee or two-handed melee, something like that. So there's going to be a lot of other cards that are going to accentuate your playstyle. But yeah, that's a bullet shield. And then the next card we have, and then there's one here called Outlaw, but I can't tell what it does because it's just way too blurred. So I didn't include that. That's a charisma card. And that, obviously, this is like a sniper or something like that. Exactly, Mark. All right, so the next card is Expert Slugger. Your two-handed melee weapons now do plus 10% damage. That's at rank 1. Next card is Gladiator, and here you can see how the ranks rank up. So just like the Expert Slugger was at 10% at rank 1, two-handed, or the rank 2 will be at 20%, rank 3 will be at 30%. Next card is Sturdy Frame. Armor weighs 25% less than normal, and that is also at rank 1. So if you're running around in combat armor, this might be a great one to have. And then Through Hiker, food and drink weights are reduced by 60% at rank 2, so they would be at 90% for rank 3. So everything weighs something. All right, Perception. Moving into Perception, you have Green Thumb. You have a 25% chance to reap twice as much when harvesting flora. I don't know how big of a thing it's going to be to harvest flora in the game, but there is a perk card that will give you a better chance to get twice as much. The next card that we saw was Night Person. Gain +1 intelligence and perception between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Panopictographist. You hear directional audio when in range of a magazine. Well, I mean, they got a lot of shit going on, don't they, Mark? Nick, we're going through the perk cards that we saw during the event yesterday. They have not given us a number. The only thing that we have is Todd saying that there are hundreds of perk cards. Anakin. Oh, they are tweaking it way hard. And I like this challenge of I have to balance my perk card values versus my pool of points and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. It only has one rank, but you hear directional audio when in range of a magazine. That's crazy. And then the next one is the same for bobbleheads. Perceptibobble, you hear directional audio when in range of a bobblehead. So for those of you that like collecting all the magazines and all the bobbleheads, well, first this confirms that bobbleheads are in the game. They are going to have some, we don't know what benefits they will have to us, but we know that they're in the game. And you can have a perk card that will help you find them. All right, now this one, I really apologize for the bad graphics on it. It was down at the bottom. This is a card that the player had, but it wasn't slotted up top. So it's kind of really, really dim. I had to adjust the brightness and contrast to get anything on it. And it's a refractor, and it looks like it has 4 rank slots to it. And it's at rank 1, gain +5 energy resistance. Oh, I'm sure, Mark. All right, moving into Endurance, we have Aqua Girl, which now only has 1 rank versus the 2 ranks that were in Fallout 4. You no longer take rad damage from swimming and can breathe underwater. Don't know how you do it to remember all this. No, it's okay. I'll go back and I'll explain that again, Anakin. You have Dromedary. All drinks quench thirst by an additional 15%. So this one is for you, Mark. So it looks like maybe 45% at rank 3. And the next card is, there are a lot of perk cards related to drinking and alcohol and booze. So this is the first of those. Professional drinker. There's no chance you'll get addicted to alcohol. Sure thing, Mark. So you pair that with some of the other drinking ones, and it is crazy. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Phil. And to think that this is going to be the end of Fallout, that's... no, not even close. All right, next card is Revenant. Gain a plus 25% damage bonus for 2 minutes when a player revives you. They have a lot more presets in there, Nick. Hey, Elias. Nope, no cross-platform. Unfortunately. All right, moving on to the next card here. We have Slow Metabolizer. All food satisfies hunger by an additional 15%. And notice that you can't get this, you can't use this card until level 5. It is locked. And it's a level lock. Vaccinated, chance of catching a disease from creatures is reduced by 60%. And that's at rank 2. So it looks like there's more than one kind of disease that we're going to be able to catch here. Kind of like the mole rat disease from Fallout 4. All right, moving into Charisma. There are a bunch of cards here. Bodyguards gain 8 damage in energy resistance, max of 24 for each teammate, excluding you. I imagine it does, Jason, but with the right perk cards, you'd never have to worry about it. Like the downsides of being addicted kind of a thing. Next card is Happy Camper. Hunger and thirst grow 80% more slowly when in camp or in a team workshop. So that's the card that you're going to want to have enabled when you're in build mode and stuff like that. Hard Bargain. Buying and selling prices at vendors are better, and it has 3 ranks available to it. Inspirational. When you're on a team, gain 5% more XP. So, like if you're running Lone Wanderer when you're running around by yourself, you could swap it out with Inspirational when you're because you wouldn't be getting the effects of Lone Wanderer when you're on a team, so you could swap it out with Inspirational. No, Anakin, they have not released anything about as far as how big you can build yet. We're all just speculating at that point. Then you have Party Girl. The effects of alcohol are doubled. I don't know what the second rank would give you over the effects of alcohol are doubled unless it's tripled. That would be crazy. But if you're running that with Professional Drinker, holy hell. So you never have to worry about a drinking addiction issue and everything's doubled? Come on, mouse. There he goes. All right, so here's 3 more cards. Happy-go-lucky. Your luck is increased by 2 while under the influence of alcohol. So Professional Drinker, Party Girl, Happy-go-lucky. Now you're getting 2 more points in your luck pool. No, I hear you, Mark. And they did kind of talk about that a little bit, how you'd be able to jimmy some stuff. Then you also have Quack Surgeon, revive other players with liquor. And Spiritual Healer, you regenerate health for 5 seconds after reviving another player. And then I wanted to look at some of the ones that we don't have descriptions on. What's going on, Trippy? We have Animal Friend, which I'm sure is similar to how it was in Fallout 4. We already saw Quack Surgeon, but then we have the Friendly Fire card, which, who knows, maybe the bullets phase right through them. We don't know. We don't have any description on it. I just wanted to show those cards there. Because all the drug we use... could be. I haven't seen anything about drugs at all, Jason. Other than stim packs. Well, thanks, Trippy. All right, moving into intelligence. Contractor. Crafting workshop items now cost 25% fewer materials at rank 1. So it means, well, 50% fewer materials at rank 2. That's going to be a builder's dream right there. Exotic weapons. You can now craft rank 1 exotic weapon mods. Plans required. Yeah, that's all I've seen, Mark. First aid. Stim packs restore 10% more lost health. Okay. And that has 4 ranks available to it. Grease Monkey. Workshop items are 30% cheaper to repair. Oh, I don't have it yet, Trippy. I'm just, yeah, no, I'm not that lucky. No, I just, we're looking through the Fallout 76 panel that they had at QuakeCon yesterday. Next one is Master Hacker. Now, here's the first thing that I've noticed here. And I actually talked about it before in one of my other videos. Gain +1 hacking skill. And terminal lockout times is reduced. That's the first time that we've seen anything mentioning a skill. We haven't heard any of that yet. So I don't know what the, obviously, you know, +1, that on the percentage, the 100-point thing, that wouldn't mean a bunch of shit. But, so I'm wondering if there is not some other thing that they haven't showed us. We're going to have perks and skills. I don't know. But the wording on that is definitely interesting. And there's only one rank to it. Good point, Anakin. Yeah, but yesterday wasn't about gameplay, Nick. Yesterday was about character leveling and perks primarily. I knew that before I ever even went to QuakeCon. Hey, Deadly. Hey, Cat. That's funny. All right, so then over here we have science, and you can't... This was very hard to read anyway. But it says you can now craft energy, and it looks like guns, and it says plans required. But I think that's supposed to be energy gun mods. I don't think that that is worded correctly. Well, you found me, Deadly. Congratulations. Welcome back. Hello, Soggy. I don't know who you're calling child. I don't have the game, Trippy. The game, we won't have access to the game till October. And they didn't show us any additional footage yesterday. All right, so now that we got science covered, that's the last one that we have for intelligence. So let's move into agility. And I wanted to... okay. Gotcha. The first card here is dodgy in agility. Oh, okay. Well, you should have links to both my Twitter and my Facebook on Mixer. They're deadly. So dodgy, you spend 30 action points to avoid 10% of each enemy attack. That's quite interesting. There's also a couple other things on here. We see Mr. Sandman, Gun Fu, and Adrenaline all showing up there. We don't have descriptions for any of them yet. But there's one other thing I wanted to point out. If you look over at the luck cards, you see Grim Reaper Sprint, Mysterious Savior, and Mystery Meat. Mysterious Savior. Now, later on, we will look at the card for the Mysterious Stranger. That's very true, Mark. It could be a hotkey. When you engage that card, it adds a hotkey on there. So, obviously, when they made this video, Mysterious Savior, I don't know why it would show up like that, in that video. But you can see the very top of his fedora, the Mysterious Stranger's fedora. And we'll look at it when we get into the luck group. So it is the same card, but I just thought it was funny. I caught that last night, and I wanted to point that out. Unless it's a play on the Mysterious Stranger where he comes and revives you, or you have a chance for him to come revive you. I like that, Mark. We could be engaging with the Mysterious Stranger more often. Bethesda does, Trippy. So let's move on to the rest of the agility. We got Goat Legs. Take 80% less damage from falling. That's at max ranks. And then Gunrunner, again, apologize for it being so dark. Tried to lighten it up as best I could. Your running speed is increased by 10% when you have a pistol equipped, is what it actually says. And there are 2 ranks available for that one. That's on rank 1. And then you have Marathoner. Sprinting consumes 20% fewer action points. And that is, yeah. All right, moving into Luck. You have Luck of the Draw. Your weapon has a 10% chance to regain condition when hitting an enemy. Yeah, because weapon degradation is a thing, again, which again, totally okay with. Love it, bring it. Here's the Mysterious Stranger. The Mysterious Stranger appears more often when using VATS. Mystery Meat. Stim packs generate excessive edible meat. Higher rads improve the chance. What the hell? I like the Marathoner card too. Because you figure at rank 1 it's 20% fewer. So it probably does the 20, 40, 60. I'm okay with 60% fewer action points for doing that. No, I try and stay away from cookies. Staying away from cookies is how I've lost 50 pounds already. Like, yeah, is that meat coming off of your body there, Kev? I mean, that's what I'm wondering too. Yeah, how would a stem pack generate any meat? So if you're more irradiated, then you have a better chance of generating excessive edible meat. Terrifying. All right, so now we have Scrounger. Yeah, but why would you be using a stim pack on something that you killed? I don't know, Anakin. It's weird. 50% chance to find extra ammo when you search an ammo container. Get more food out of your food with that card. But why would using a stim pack What, you wouldn't be using that on your food. That's my point, Jason. Starched genes, you will never mutate from rads, and Radaway will never cure mutations. That's at rank 2. I'm guessing this is how you lock in a mutation. You run this card. Once you have a mutation that you want to have, I think this is how you lock it in. You'll never gain any other mutations from rads, but using Radaway will never cure your mutations. That's funny, Kevin. Well, that, and it is only a chance of creating excessive edible meat, too. All right, so we are almost done here. That's starched genes. And then you have can do. This is one of the last ones. I think I missed one earlier. 50% chance to find an extra canned good when you search a food container. And then this last one here. Oh, yeah, strange in numbers. Positive mutation effects are plus 25% stronger if teammates are mutated too. Absolutely, Jason. Yeah, Anakin, it's I don't know what the rank 1 would give you. But yeah, absolutely. Okay, so someone didn't understand the pool, right? This is actually the perfect screen to be looking at for that. This character's at level 42. So let's start with, you can take all of your specials up to 15 instead of 10. But you could not rank them all to 15. Because you stop gaining special points at level 50. So that means you would have a total of 56 points because you start with 7 points at level 1. And then 49 more levels. So that would give you a total of 56 points. So if you went evenly across the board, you'd have 8 in everything with a remainder that you could probably bump one more to 9. Or you could do something similar to what we see here on the screen. Strength of 12, Perception of 5, Endurance of 7, Charisma of 9, Intelligence of 4, Agility 3, Luck of 8. I love the mutation system, Mark. Like I said, I want to put together an entire team of mutants so that we can all run strange in numbers. Hey, Otto. I did. So, here's how this works. Well, and to get the mutation, because there's different kinds of mutations, Kevin. So you gotta, go, oh crap, I don't want this mutation. I want the mutation that I saw on that Cat has, Okay, so here's how the point pool works. If we look in the upper left, hey Lego, we see strength is 12. And we see all the perk cards underneath it. But if you total up all the ranks that we see on each of the cards, it equals 12. Which means that I could not upgrade Sturdy Frame to rank 2 unless I added a 13th point into Strength. Does that make sense? Exactly, Jason. That's what I'm talking. They have not talked about readjusting, respecking the points, Anakin. I imagine that there will be some way to do that. Hell, you can change your character from male to female at any time you want. So I imagine you'll be able to respec at some point. Maybe. Maybe there's a perk card for that. Man, it is pouring outside. So if we look at perception, their perception is 5, and it says 3 unused points because they only have 2 cards available for perception, and they're both at rank 1. So they've got 3 points left over. So you can't make the ultimate character. You couldn't put all of your stats at 15 and run all of these cards, because if I ran Bandolier at rank 3, batteries included at rank 3, that means I would have to get rid of Bear Arms totally to stay in the same pool of 12 for strength. So it's now granted you can swap cards in and out. Like if I wanted, let's say I had a batteries included at rank 3, but I was only running the rank 1 card. On an online server though, Kevin, I'm not sure that that glitch would last more than probably an hour on an online server. No. This is all in the video, Otto. That I am not showing anything other than the video footage. This is everything. This essentially was the character. They were showing up, leveling up at different levels. Like they showed a level up at level 2. They showed a level up at level 4, and then they showed a level up at level 42. And so this is the level 42 character. Basically what we're looking at is, perks are gone. Now we have perk cards. Every time you level up, you get 3 cards that you can choose from. And I think that the cards are more apt to answer Kevin's question. I think the cards that you get are going to be more apt to be something that you're already focused on. So early game, it's going to be kind of really RNG madness. But as you start focusing your character in a certain direction, I have a feeling that the cards are going to lay out so they go, okay, it looks like you're focusing more into like commando, or you're focusing more in stealth. So we're going to show you more cards that would work for that kind of a build. No. There is no cap, but after level 50, you don't get any more special points. You just get cards every level. So, because you can swap your perk cards at any point. Anytime you want, you can swap your perk cards. So if you're running around, let's say this character here is this is the running around the map character. But then we have a couple charisma cards that are intelligence cards that help us with base building or camp management. Well, I don't need exotic weapons and first aid when I'm building my camp. I would substitute out exotic weapons and first aid for something that might, lower my building costs in my camp or something like that. So you can swap these cards out whenever you want. They do suggest find a safe place to do it so that your ass doesn't get eaten while you're in this screen, because the game doesn't pause. But there's always that. So yeah, that's how the pool works. That's why intelligence is 4, but they have 1 unused point, because their exotic weapons is at rank 2 and their first aid's at rank 1. Yes, you will have the ability to do multiple characters, Mark. They already talked about that. Before this, they talked about it. Pete Hines talked about it, actually, in an interview. Because he said you could have a character that was your solo character, that's all you did with that character is do a solo run of the game. And then you could have another character that was with your friends and stuff like that. I think all of your cards live some... I don't know if it's a charisma thing they showed in the video where the one player is like handing out perk cards to other people. I don't know if that's a perk card in and of itself to share perk cards with people, or if it's just a mechanic that we can do. So that we aren't sure about yet. I think that This is actually not, this is going to be a challenge in and of itself. Making sure that you're running the right cards, that you're being balanced, that you're getting everything that you want. Exactly, Kevin. That was my thought. Have a public character, my YouTube character, and then have one that I just play. But I like this. It doesn't matter if I'm level 200. The perk cards that I can run are dictated by the numbers that are in the pool. Because every level, up to level 50, you get to put 1 point in one of your specials. And then you get to draw a card out of the cards that they show you. Every 2 levels to rank 10, you also get a perk card pack, which has 4 random cards in it. And there's a chance that one of them could be like a rare card. And then every 5 levels after that, you get a perk card pack. So it goes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 on however high you want to go with your character. But you could be level 100, but unless you're running, a bunch of rank 1 cards, it's not, you can't be OP by that way. There you go, Otto. That sounds great, buddy. There you go. Yes, Evil Mark Jackson. We could be a whole gang of wanted members. That would be hilarious. Welcome to my private server. You are the hunted. There you go, Kev. See, and look, you're already finding people on your friend's channel that want to play with you. Now, here's the thing, is that I think it would be great if, because higher level people might be carrying more rare junk, because they've been to higher level areas and stuff like that. And if you could kill them and steal their junk, that would be awesome. Not with getting the bounty and all that, but as far as getting that stuff. Okay, Kevin, I hear you. So yeah, that's the pool. Oh, cat. All right. Anyone else have any other questions? Otto, I know that you're relatively new back in, so. Well, and you could just have that character that just rages that once a week there, Mark. Character's a great guy, and then he just like rages one day and goes around on a killing spree. Because then after the wanted level's removed, after you've been killed, then everything's okay again. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this just because it's kind of funny. No, not that. There's my phone. That's as much screen time as I got. I was ending my live stream, my pre-show live stream, but you can see how close I am to the actual stage. It was crazy. Well, you won't be able to steal everything, Ghost. The only thing that you can take off of someone when you kill them is their junk. Everything that's in their junk tab. So you couldn't take the armor, you couldn't take the weapons or ammo or miscellaneous items or any of that, just the junk.
You'll collect more. So it's sort of like, well, that was sunk time. Do I want to go back and get it? And it's that happens on PvP. So if you do kill somebody, their junk drops, and you get.
Yeah, see, here he's talking about the junk. Let me back that up a little bit.
For a long time, we tried testing where there was no punishment at all. And that took all the sting out of death. People used it to their advantage to travel back to various points, and it didn't feel right. But we didn't want to make it too punitive, because we do expect people will die, and there's no save games like a single-player game. So what happens when you die is you just drop your junk, and junk isn't worthless. You need junk to build things in your camp, or to make better guns, or to make better armor. So what it does is it creates a loop where you go out and explore, you create some junk, and if you happen to die, that's all you drop. You don't lose your awesome power armor or any of the guns that you've collected, but then you have to make a decision. Is like, was that enough junk that I need to go back and get it? Or is that something I can live without? And what people will do is they'll go back to their camp and they'll put their junk back in their stash, which is safe. Nobody can take things out of each other's stashes. And we've also seeded the world with stashes as well. So if you know where some of the stashes are, it's always a safe place to store the junk that you've collected.
So just enough so it'll sting,
A
but
little
not
bit of a
enough so
sting.
that it'll really deeply hurt.
And it's
yourself.
also a little bit of a reward for if you manage to kill somebody, there's usually something there with them.
Nice.
And the thing with junk is it's nothing that you can't just re-get by if you just keep playing. Like that's that pile of it. But if you just start exploring, you'll collect more. So it's sort of like, well, that was sunk time. Do I want to go back and get it? And it's that happens on PvP. So if you do kill somebody, their junk drops and you get to pick it up. You get the caps from them.
Right.
You can take the junk, but yeah.
But it's just a little grindy time, and you got it back.
It's just, we like it. We put it in. And it's just enough to make it where before you head into a dangerous area, before this, you would just run into a dangerous area. You don't really care. There's no penalty to death. It's like you just fast travel back. And then once we did that, so you just stop a little bit. Like, well, don't want to take a moment and like collect myself, store the junk before I head into danger.
If anyone remembers Fallout 4, screws are very valuable. So if you've got screws in your junk, you want to store them.
Yeah. You
And
can't
how-
decide between like this awesome looking gun or a desk fan. They both have equal.
How does respawning work, by the way? If you die in a dangerous area, but can you respawn anywhere? What goes on there?
Respawning always takes. You can respawn anywhere you've unlocked, just like Fallout 4. You can fast travel wherever you'd like. The closest point to you is free, and the entrance to Vault 76 is free. Beyond that, you have to pay caps based on how far away it is from you. So if you decide you want to take that opportunity to go way far to a corner of the map, you're going to pay a small caps cost.
I was thinking of the vault. Going back to PvP, it doesn't kick in until level 5. So that gets people into the game a little bit and understanding it before people start saying, hey, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Because otherwise they'll just hang out everywhere. Because everyone comes out of the vault. So you would just like set up your camp and all the turrets. That happened for a while. You're like, I'm really excited. I got the game.
Remember, for people who have more questions on PvP and can already see some exploits that might not be fun, we do allow you to ignore and block players too. So you can actually, when you die, or at any time, honestly, but especially when you die, we have an option there for if you're just done with that, you can ignore them for that session. Then they can't see you on the map. They won't be able to still mess with you generally unless they can find you. But this is a very big game. It's very hard to find people unless you know exactly where they are. You can fast travel easily. We also are entering a pacifist flag, so your bullets won't do that slap to people. So you don't have to worry about I'm fighting something. Some idiot jumped in front of my bullets and tried to get me in PvP. We're allowing you to turn that off too.
People were abusing that in the studio.
That's awesome.
The pacifist flag.
Well, no, they would wait till you go shoot a creature and they would jump in front of the bullet.
Right.
That's pretty ticked up.
We had our QA team. I asked the QA team, several hundred people, during one of our sessions to be the biggest assholes they can one session. We got a lot of good notes out of that, of things we need to fix.
QA knows how to play the game.
Yeah, they know how to play.
I do have one more question about PvP, which is if you
Well, Naomi, that's a great question. You can actually revive fallen members. So if you're in a team, there's actually perks that give bonuses for being revived or reviving people. So I don't think that you would actually die. It's kind of like in Fallout 4, when one of your companions goes down, you could go over and revive them with a stim pack kind of a thing. But I imagine that they could, Naomi, if it just becomes a public, loot spot essentially of your junk. Except for Fallout 76, right, Mark? Because there's no advantage to playing it on a PC at this point. Fallout 76, that is. Yeah, no crossplay. Period. Exactly, Anakin. But there will be mods and private servers.
Other games, he's amazing. The soundtrack is spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what is that going to do for you, Mark? There's not going to be any local saves. All your saves are going to be on the server. Yeah, but you're not going to have any third-party mods in 76. I mean, you'll have third-party mods, but they're all going to have to go through Bethesda.net. How do server changes work? I think, Anakin, you'll be able to, like, if you have your friends list, you'll be like, okay, I want to go play with this person, and it would, or the game looks at your friends list and says, hey, their friends are playing over on this server, let's put them over there. No, I understand that, Mark. I don't think that you're being an ass either. Come on, I was a PC gamer for a long time, built my own custom rigs. I just got tired and just wanted to sit on the couch and not have to worry about upgrading shit every 6 months. To stay somewhat, competitive. Not even competitive. Just to stay midline. And here's where they talk about... Exactly, Otto. Well, I mean, what's reliable? Any piece of hardware can give out. I mean, I killed Fallout 4. My Xbox has been fine the entire time. I've never killed my Xbox in 3 years. 3.5 years. Now, certain games, I have killed Fallout 4 more than once. But that was my own damn doing, so.
And we have a lot of licensed music as well. So we have more tracks than we've ever had in a Fallout game. So there are radio stations you can listen to. Something we've loved in the
that
series,
I won't hear much of.
It's always fun to go through and say, like, okay, what are the classic tracks we want to have? And then there is an unbelievable amount of just bizarre old 40s music. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's some wacky stuff. And it's great for being able to mod it. So mods for us have really been, once our games come out, that's what our hardcore players play.
Let me back that up just a hair.
Places like Reddit. What about private servers?
That is definitely something that we are doing. We're committed to it. Modding for us, it's not just having a private server, it's being able to mod it. So mods for us have really been, once our games come out, that's what our hardcore players play. And they're still playing, Skyrim and Fallout 4 are two of the still most popular games in the world, and a lot of people are playing mods. And so that is something that, given the online nature of it, is going to be very, very complicated, but we're committed to it, and we've been, starting to design what that system is going to look like. But it is, I will say this, it's a complicated problem, but one that we are 100% committed to solving.
A beta comes out in October, Scout. That would be very nice, Stella. I would love that. Yep, beta out in October. No, the game releases November 14th, Anakin. But the beta is coming out early. Just not as early as some of us had hoped. I was hoping it'd come out this month. Well, last month, actually. It's not that long. It's 2 months now. That would be so much fun, Stella. That'd be a lot of fun, actually. So, committed to mods and private servers. Gotta love that. All right, Mark. Thanks for coming and hanging out, buddy. As always, love getting your input on things, you damn PC Master Race guy. But no, thanks for coming and hanging out, buddy. Have a great night. That'd be hilarious, Stella. Well, Anakin, keep in mind that most of the beta testing is going to be server stress testing. That's why they've done the segmented, like Xbox and then PS4 and then PC. It's going to be a stepped release to the beta because it's obvious by the late nature of the beta that they don't need us testing game mechanics as much as they need us testing the server. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of downtime as they have to reset the server and figure out what the problems were and do hot patches and stuff like that to get the server ready for launch date. That's essentially what we'll be doing. But on the flip side of that, they're saying as of right now, there won't be any server wipes, there won't be any resetting. So whatever character you run during the beta, you'll be able to carry into the live game in November. You know, I can't imagine in the month or at most 6 weeks, depending on when they launch that. No, Scout, it is not, although I think it should be with the way that Sony's been acting. It is there's an agreement there, and I think part of it is Bethesda giving Sony the finger, which is why Xbox is going to be the first platform for the beta test. But it will be available for all 3 platforms November 14th. So yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be able to complete the game. I mean, potentially, maybe. I just don't think that with the number of times that the servers are going to go down and all that stuff, I don't think that there's going to be any issues with anyone going, hey, look, I beat the game in 3 weeks, unless that's all they're doing. But I hear you, Kev. Well, and that's why they didn't make it an Xbox exclusive, Stella, because there is no true Xbox exclusive anymore. If you guys haven't noticed that, this whole Play Anywhere thing that Microsoft is doing, excuse me, is that you would, even if it's like State of Decay 2 is a Xbox exclusive, but with Play Anywhere, it means that you can play it on a Windows 10 PC. And it's like a separate download. So there is no true Xbox exclusive anymore. It's Xbox/PC exclusive. And then you have Sony off in their own little corner, shoving their thumbs up their butts or whatever it is that they're doing. But obviously Microsoft is much more willing to work with Bethesda than Sony is. And I think that's one of the big reasons why Xbox is going to be first out of the gate for the beta test. So, no, I understand that, Kevin. But some people would argue that too. Some people, their favorite game in the whole damn wide world is Halo. Well, that's an Xbox exclusive. To say that Sony exclusives are better games, that's very subjective, Me, I don't want to see any exclusives on platforms. If you want me to buy your platform, then make the best platform. Make me want to buy that platform, not for the games that I can play on it, but because every game I can play on it will look the best. That's what I want. I want to see a time where platform exclusives go away. And you know what? You can play this on any platform you want. Buy our platform because we've got the best hardware, we've got the most RAM, we've got the prettiest picture, all of that stuff. That's what I would rather see. Showed them kicking a cosplayer out of one of the events for cosplaying the Sole Survivor. Huh. I understand that, Kevin, but to say the best game ever, isn't that subjective in and of itself? The best of anything is always subjective. That's very interesting, Scout. I had not heard that. I did see a couple super mutants yesterday, though. That's something that they don't really talk about at like the gaming shows like QuakeCon, because that's what QuakeCon really is. It's all about the gaming. There were several cosplayers there yesterday. Even saw a Nuka girl walking around. Yeah, and in that regard, you know, you say critically acclaimed, you know, games, Kevin. But again, isn't that just someone's opinion? There are critically acclaimed movies out there that I couldn't sit through 10 minutes of, but they were critically acclaimed. All the critics loved them. I couldn't fucking stand them. You know? I mean, both Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War, they look beautiful. But I would not go out and buy a console to play either one of them. If I owned a PS4, I'd probably pick them up and play them because they're beautiful games. But I'm not going to go out and buy a console specifically to play those games. I bought an Xbox One because I had an Xbox 360 and I knew that backwards compatibility was going to be a thing with the Xbox One. That's the only reason why I specifically bought an Xbox One, is that I knew that a lot of the titles that I had, I'd be able to continue to play on one console instead of having to hook up an Xbox 360 again. We're not actually playing a game. We were looking at footage from QuakeCon yesterday for the Fallout 76 panel where they were talking about character creation and perks and stuff like that. Matter of fact, let's actually I wanted to show this. Yeah, I have a Kinect because honestly, I have a couple games that my niece and nephew enjoy playing. They're Kinect games. That's the only reason why I have a Kinect. That and I can talk to my Xbox and make it turn on and off. All right, so I'm going to play this little clip. It's very short about the character creation. I just wanted to look at some of the presets that they have. Some of them are very similar to what we've seen in Fallout 4. Some of them look new. Todd says that they've expanded the character creation aspect, and then they get into doing you have to go through the selfie tutorial, as it were. Basically, you have to shoot your badge, your ID badge for Vault-Tec. So let's go ahead and play that.
Creation when you first start. You wake up in the vault, it's Reclamation Day. We have a full, customize your character like we've had before. It's even better now. And let's go a little bit. You get to take your ID badge. We've added this photo mode in the game that's really, really cool.
The photo mode allows you to change your field of view, zoom in, zoom out, you'll see all the filters that are coming up. You can do this both here when you take your badge, it's like a training tutorial for it, and then you can do it anytime you want out in the wild with your friends, with dead enemies, with live enemies. We have also added this to our load screen system. There's not a lot of loads in our game, but when you fast travel, there's a little one, and so any of the pictures you've taken there will pop up like a random deck along with our curated photos. This came out of a game jam. We do these game jams in the middle of projects to see what new features we want to try to add in, and this was one of our favorite ones.
Yeah, it turned out really, really great.
And fun for socially shareable stuff too, even
Exactly.
offline. You kind of
your friends. And so, again, you make your character as a whole host of it. You can take pictures where you want. You can also, anytime in the game, change how your character looks. Because you're going to play a character for a long time, and you can swap out and change your sex, anything, your hair, everything, just so that you don't feel like, well, I don't like how I picked in the very first second what I look like. Really, really cool feature. Next, we have...
I'm going to add scars to my character as I play through. Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. If I'm playing a male, I think I'll age him, maybe, go from stubble to more of a beard. Yeah, that'll be cool, huh? What do you guys think about the character creation system? From what we saw of it, anyway. I thought so too. I like the fact that we have some more presets, and we saw some different hairstyles in there. Want better female hair options. That would be cool, Anakin. I want the Todd. That's what I want for hairstyle. That would be awesome. Yeah, they all look about the same to me too. Because that's Curie's hair right there. And that's Myrna's hair. Exactly, Stella. Yeah, so on the camera we have field of view, a view roll, field of depth, strength, distance, range, expression, pose category, and pose. Yeah, we'll get to... She does some different expressions here in a second. Hold on, when they move the camera in. So, afraid. That shit's hilarious. Amused. Angry. Awed. Concerned. Confident. Oh, absolutely, Stella. Cool, day tripper, electric, feral, color noise, scan lines, film grain, vignette, and then frames, photograph 2, photograph 4, rounded 2, rounded 3, rounded square 01, 03. That's one that they end up going with. It's a better Instagram. Or confused. A dog feature. All right, Kev. Hurry back. Yeah, I would agree with that. No, concerned. There you go. I still like afraid. Odd definitely makes more sense, especially when it comes to auto.
Everything, just so that you don't feel like, well, I don't like how I picked in the.
Here's them leveling up.
So you get if you hit level 2, when you step out, you kind of complete the initial vault thing. And the first thing you do when you level up is pick a special that you want to increase. If you played previous Fallouts, we have all the 7 specials. And after you pick the one you want to increase, you then pick a perk in that special. So here we're choosing Gladiator, which is a melee perk. And then that is a card. As you can see, the perk system, the perks are cards, and then you equip those, and every special is a pool of points for the cards you want to equip, and each card has, I don't want to say mana cost, but a point cost for how powerful that card is, and do you have the right special for equipping it.
Right. And is it flexible, or am I jumping ahead? Do you have...
There's some more on that we can get into and show you how flexible it is and why we made some of the choices that we did. But let's keep going, and then we can spend some time when we see a more complete character. Okay, this is a level up to level 4. So we picked some more cards. We wanted to show you how the cards themselves rank up.
Okay.
So you can pick that card again. So by picking Gladiator again, you can then combine that card with the other one to create a more powerful version, but it costs more points.
Right.
So sometimes you may decide, well, I only want the 1-point version equipped for my character build versus the more powerful 2-point version because I'm using my strength stats in some other way. So I think that probably makes sense, yes. I hope.
But there's more than 4 levels in the game.
The levels keep going up and up and up. We don't want to make a game where you have to stop leveling, but we had to make some very interesting decisions of what that means for a multiplayer game for balance. So let's run the next one where we see it's a much higher level character.
Right.
I think it's in the 40s. So here we are, and you'll see a character that's much further along. Picking charisma. We can talk about charisma. It's interesting.
Let's stop that real quick and come back here and he's carrying a crossbow. New weapons? Yes, new weapons. Carrying a crossbow. You're going to have to make some hard choices, Otto. I like that.
Much further along. Picking charisma. We can talk about charisma is interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a perk that lets mutations act better with groups. And so you can pick any perk that you meet the requirements for when you level up. There's no randomness there. And here's what it looks like with a character that's further along. We've upped the cap for each special to 15 from 10. That allows better balance for which cards you're equipping. And the cards right now go from 1 point up to 5 points in power. And then as you level up, more cards become available.
I've got a bunch of questions about that, but I
want on there and chat a little bit. Keep going.
Okay. But I wanted to ask about charisma. Should I ask that later?
We can talk about that now. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris. How does charisma work in an online game? If we're not talking about NPCs that you can influence, what does charisma do for you?
That was a very interesting discussion amongst the team to try to figure out what do we do with charisma. But it made sense in a multiplayer game that a player that invests points in charisma and collects those cards, they can share those cards with their teammates. So we've developed a system where that player that invests can become the person that makes your entire team more powerful by sharing those cards.
See, so it is a charisma-based thing. So if you want to share extra cards that you have with your teammates, it's based on your charisma. So there's got to be a perk card that allows you to do that. So that's pretty interesting.
We did throw a few cards in there for the single player. I think we have one as Lone Wolf, as I recall.
Lone Wanderer.
Oh, Lone Wanderer, right. So if you can still pick some charisma cards if you're more of a solo kind of player, but the person that plays in groups all the time will probably invest more there.
Cool.
Yeah. And you probably saw before, again, when you level up, you get, these are the cards that come into the sets you can pick from when you're level 4 or 5, whatever. Right. We also experimented with, well, how do we add some more fun to it and give you more choices? And so we have added, because they're cards, perk card packs. And every few levels, initially every 2 levels, you get a perk card pack, and that has 4 random cards. Again, you could have picked these, but it gives you some more interesting choice that you might not have picked to give you some flexibility in your character. And then later on, you get them every 5. But let's look at a perk card pack opening, because they're a ton of fun. We do have gold. That one's great. We have gold cards that animate. Of course, you get a joke and a stick of gum.
Nice.
And the gum, actually, for fun, is a very slight. It reduces your hunger for a while if you chew the gum.
Nice.
And so they're a ton of fun. When you hit that level and you're like, oh, it's level 6. All right, I get a pack. You get to pick your regular perk and then also see like, okay, I got these other ones. Is there something I want to swap out? And that's something good to talk about is the swapping of the perks.
Right, because you mentioned that, the packs help you discover something you might not have known you wanted, but how flexible is the system, Jeff?
Sorry, Gary.
Go ahead.
You can swap out perks anytime. Generally, again, to reiterate, when you level up, you pick a special. You get a point in that special, which is the pool of points that you can slot perks into. You also get to pick 1 perk per level. Generally, you'll pick the perk from the special you chose, but you can also pick other perks if you have available points. And then these are wild cards. So every 2 levels from level 1 to 10, and then every 5 levels after, you'll get one of those perk packs. And what they allow you to do is to experiment with some other builds and cards you might not normally have played. Remember, you do start with 1 point in each special, so you will have unused points from the beginning too, where you can try just slotting these in right off the bat. What we have found is that allows players to go, hey, what are these luck perks, and why do I really want to search containers for extra ammo? And as you play a survival game, you go, wow, getting extra ammo in containers is really valuable. And those, remember, you can also share those perks. So if you have perks to share ammo and you share that on your team, every member of the team can then find more ammo in containers. And these all rank up, so eventually you're getting like huge bonuses in what ammo or food you're finding, or your carry weight's a big deal in this game. A lot of.
Did you guys hear what he just said? You can share your perk. So if you have the right perks, you can share the benefits of your perks with your team. Do I need to rewind that? Did everyone catch that? There's 18 of you watching, and chat's been relatively quiet here in the last few minutes. I know you guys have been watching the video and stuff like that, but yeah, if you had like the quartermaster of the group, the high charisma character and stuff like that everyone on the team is getting more ammo. Yes, there is a scavenger perk card. All right, Kev, have a great night, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here in the next 5 minutes or so anyway, because I have to get some food before I come back and live stream State of Decay 2 tonight. So thank you for coming and hanging out all the way from France. I always appreciate you coming by, Kev. Thank you, buddy.
You'll pick the perk from the special huge. Also pick up perks at points. And then these are wild cards. So every 2 levels from level 1 to 10, and then every 5 levels after, you'll get one of those perk packs. And what they allow you to do is to experiment with some other builds and cards you might not normally have played. Remember, you do start with 1 point in each special, so you will have unused points from the beginning too, where you can try just slotting these in right off the bat. What we have found is that allows players to go, hey, what are these luck perks, and why do I really want to search containers for extra ammo? And as you play a survival game, you go, wow, getting extra ammo in containers is really valuable. And those, remember, you can also share those perks. So if you have perks to share ammo and you share that on your team, every member of the team can then find more ammo in containers. And these all rank up, so eventually you're getting like huge bonuses in ammo or food.
That's crazy. That's awesome. So not everyone would have to have the Scrounger perk running to take advantage of the Scrounger perk if you had the right team member. All right. As a matter of fact, I think this is a good place to kind of wrap it up. Any last minute questions from the 17 of you still watching? Anything hopefully I can answer? I want to thank all of you guys for coming out and hanging out with me over the last 3.5 hours. Nice. So for those of you that watch me do State of Decay 2, I will be doing that in just a little bit here. I do have to get some food. I have to eat at some point today. I know it doesn't look like I need it, but yeah, food kind of is kind of important. So but yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out, and you are absolutely welcome, Anakin. And I'll be doing much more 76 content. From what I've heard, there will not be a non-disclosure agreement for the beta, which means that we will be able to stream and make videos and do stuff like that during the beta. Because I guess now it's going to be more like an early access than anything else. So as I get more information concrete information, absolutely, Otto. And you are very welcome, my friend. As I get more information confirmed information, I don't base off of, Reddit posts and stuff like that. If it's not coming from Todd or Pete or, Jeff here, who's the lead programmer for the team, I typically don't report it. And I was going to make a small video about this today, and as you guys can see, yeah, I did, some duplication, playing the same stuff more than once, but I wanted to get all this information out to you guys and just share it with you. So until next time, Vault Dwellers, you take care of yourselves out there. This is Draco Invictus, aka Vault Boy, saying, see you next time, guys. And this has been the greatest day in my life. See ya!